What is the daily consumption looking like?
I'm probably like a half ounce of flour.
Okay. Flour mainly, not really on any hash.
Yeah.
It's dark as shit.
And he pulls me over. At the time, I swear, I literally told myself, you ain't got on you. Like, game on, what's up? And then I was
Search
like,
the car, bro.
and then I'm like, oh, those dumbass stems from earlier. There's two different types of growers in life, Eric. And you'll know within 5 minutes of talking to them. And it's very rarely do they cross over to be the same person. And you can tell because they'll open the convo with the build out, how many lights, the exhaust fans, the technical stuff of the facility, or they'll immediately start to talk about strains, the herb, the quality, the smokability. It's one or the other. It's
so great.
Rarely both. California's a lot like Florida. Welcome to South Central LA, big dog.
Yeah, I was like, were you familiar with the area at all?
Well, people don't say South Central, they say downtown LA.
Yeah, I was about to say, they hit you with some of that shit.
We just finished that. Right? Yeah, feel free to take a dab of that. Either of them if you want.
crazy.
That's more my steez, but people love that one. But I like that. Yeah, you can dab it too. It's that good. It's clean.
Right here, bro. It's gonna make me see clearly, bro. It is fire.
I was gonna bring a bunch of brands homie shit, and I was like, nah, don't cloud it up. Just bring a few things. Like, don't
bring
get,
the super,
don't get
super
too
fire.
crazy. Yeah.
I mean, damn, getting right into it. First question, is Piatella the future? Is that the way it's
For
trending?
hash holes. I think for hash holes it is because
Right.
the high is more like ice wax.
Gotcha.
Can you explain just for someone who might not even know what it is? Like what is it? Eric, if you want to take a swipe,
Yeah.
what is it?
I'll leave it up to you.
I've seen it. I've tried it with you a couple
Yeah.
times, but I don't even.
As far as I know, it is a word that Uncle's Farm came up with
Yeah.
to describe
So he
cold cured hash.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to use the word Piatella, but it's just like saying like don't use Skittles because it gets weird. But it's ice wax.
So it's not rosin.
No, it hasn't been heat pressed.
Awesome.
It's been pressed.
So that's new knowledge for me right off the
Time.
right off the
No
bat.
press.
Just
Okay.
time and so from what and obviously everyone's going to explain it a little bit differently, but from my rudimentary knowledge of being able to be around some guys that make it and kind of talk and kick it, and it's ice wax. So instead of pressing it through like a heated press like you would rosin, all it is vacuum sealed within, obviously not parchment because people are getting away from having anything that's lined. So there's like certain types of clear. You've seen
I've
Uncle
seen, yeah,
shit. It's
the
like people
clear.
are coming up with different things for
It almost
food
looks like
grade.
saran wrap.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you sure you're supposed to put this on here? And they're like, no, this is actually better than parchment.
Really?
'Cause
Because
parchment-
parchment has obviously some coating
Forever
or something
plastics
on
or
there.
who
Yeah,
knows.
microplastics. Something
That's been a big
that's
thing.
leaching into it. One of my balls have like a credit card.
Yeah.
Swipe.
That's what
I'm
they
dying over
say.
here.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
So this is ice water hash that has been cold cured.
Yeah.
In the simplest terms right there.
Yeah.
Damn, so I was totally confused on what it was. I thought it was like super cured rosin or something. So that's awesome. I'm
It's
glad
like super
that's,
cured hash, pretty much.
which is amazing.
I don't really know how long too. There's like varying amounts that I've heard people say a few weeks, few months,
Oh,
dark room, cold
okay.
room. I don't know.
I
don't know.
love the high of water hash versus rosin versus weed versus anything. Honestly, I love.
There's
water
that certain
hash.
flavor behind it as well, like that hashy, and I
that
can't even
smells
describe it. Yeah.
Fully dabbable. Those are one of my homies too. He does
So super
unbelievable
dabbable
work.
then. Leaves a little bit of plant material, a lot of plant material. Depends.
Depends on the grower.
Cool.
Already dropping some knowledge on you guys, man. You know what it is. Episode 133 of Pine Park After Dark. I'm your host, Eric Kahn. We got Tim on the other side of the table and a very special guest right in the center. We got Blackleaf from the First Smoke of the Day podcast. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Appreciate you. I'm excited to learn more about you, about the history, about some smoke. I mean, that was already a big little knowledge bomb right there to start
That's
off.
what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Having fun.
Yeah, man.
All
Smoking,
about learning, smoking, all that. I love it. If you want to smoke at home, you already know. Check out the sponsor of today's video, man. Today's episode is sponsored by Shop Hello Mary. You can go to shophellomary.com and use the code Mary15 for 15% off that pack. Shipped in all states, baby. Get it right to your doorstep. It's beautiful stuff. And also, we got a surprise if you're coming the Dallas Major next month. We should be excited. I'm pumped. I'm not gonna say much more, but we'll see you guys there, man. Dallas, Texas. That's the home. That's the home.
Stop leaking.
Hey, no, we're gonna be there. Aren't you excited?
Is
man?
it written there? Okay.
It says it right there. We're gonna be able to see Pred in action. Hey, they haven't been looking too hot, but I know they're gonna be, they're gonna be back to form soon.
It's dude, the boys just got back together. All right, they're gonna bounce back. I was a little nervous watching that last weekend, but it'll be all right, man. It'll be all right. I can't wait to go there. Dallas is gonna be fun. I missed the last Dallas trip when you guys went to the basketball game. So I'm excited to actually get to go to this one.
You gotta slide, man. Dallas is one of those places, one of those cities. We got one of those packs right here, man. Some Z you brought us.
I just opened one right now. There's dude.
And the best thing to do with it is just break it open.
Oh yeah,
give it a crack and give it a
don't be
nice
scared
whiff.
of. You're not gonna ruin it.
The Z, man. The Z Terps have been taking over the past year and a half. Is that what it's been? Everyone loves the Z.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at everybody loving the Z. You know, some people are saying like it's becoming like overdone and I don't like Z.
Who knows?
Just
maybe
relax
at this point.
and let
Who
it
really
be.
put it on? Would you say? Would you say it was Tenko and their kind of run with the Zushi and everything?
I mean, originally it was, you could probably vouch for this because you were sitting there with the booth too. Like that's how we know each other was way back. Is that them getting on stage, Skittles just sweeping. Third gen Terp Hogs, right? When I say that, I mean Brandon,
got to give them the credit, right?
Tony Mendo,
Shout out to
and
the
Greener
Hogs.
Fields. Those three guys you would see on stage together, and it was always like, "Yo, what the fuck's up with this strain?"
Yeah.
And more than even the flower at first, I feel like we were smoking the extract.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because it was probably a lot of greenhouse and outdoor, which
Yes.
no derivative, but like it was just so terpy. And then we're getting the most crazy BHO, Southern Humboldt Terp Farm, and those guys were putting out $100 grams of BHO. Think about it. And there was a line, and if you didn't get in line or you didn't get it that day, that shit was sold out.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
And
What year
then-
was this?
15,
I was
16?
Nice.
I feel like 2015 is where like BHO was like
the peak.
peaking.
The peak of
Like,
Diamond Barrel.
man, there was some good stuff back then. And if I'd take that BHO and put it up against a lot of this Roz and a lot of this stuff to nowadays. I really would. I really would. And that art has been lost, and I wish it would find its way back. And there's probably a few brands doing it.
What do you
But-
think it is? It's just the market moved towards rosin, like
You got to follow the money if you want to
Right.
survive as a brand, right?
Right.
So if you're going to make a product that no one wants or that they want to pay $10 for,
right.
and it's costing you more than $10 to make, you can't make it anymore. You know,
100%.
Marketing has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
100%.
Just like you guys know, like marketing and the SKU, and I'm not going against it, but like I'm a big proponent for bring BHO back.
Nice.
And-
Nice.
good BHO.
Not the yes, and that's the key is not the CRC'd out, tastes like Clorox bleach
That part.
and white paper.
That's what it
from
became on its
Office
way
Max.
out, I feel like. As it was like,
That's
what it is
brands were
now.
starting to
That's what you
imitate
go
the
find.
rosin. And like, yeah.
Before people were taking full nug run pounds that they're paying $4,000 for a pound and then they're just blasting it.
Dude, I remember my boy going and getting like pounds of like white fire from Rascal and stuff. And it's like from Payaso. And I'd be like, you're going to do what with that?
He's like, break it all up.
He's like, I'm going to stick it in a tube and run butane through it.
Shoot
dude.
it through.
Like, brah. Getting like 120 grams of the
Most
fire. The most fire shatter, dude. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing right now? Like that
You were even
BHO
thinking that
was-
at the time. You were like, maybe that's not the best idea. You saw it.
Yeah, I was like, this
You're
is
like, blow it by the
insane.
windowsill. No,
No,
it's
in the
a-
garage
on
setups,
fire.
people getting hurt. People
your
getting
homie
hurt.
was like one of the leading guys for BHO, I mean, I don't know how the partnership went, but I mean, they're still one of the big names.
Yeah,
in
no,
BHO.
no, Bear crushes, man. They literally, John, shout out to John, man. Love that guy. He's been, a massive proponent in that space. And I wish they had, and I'm sure he does too. I wish they had the ability to make that BHO from 2015. I wish that I'm sure they would love to do that if the market would buy it. But no, if that's not what they're buying, that's not what they're buying, But what you said, Eric, was a big point that CRC, when people started, taking the worst stuff ever that should be made into distillate,
Right.
and they're putting it into, grams of BHO, that's what really it skewed people's opinion on BHO really, really bad.
For sure.
It made people like, you don't want to smoke it.
Yeah.
fuck.
I haven't seen a gram of BHO that I wanted to smoke years. And that's not saying that the product's not available and the guys making it aren't the same guys.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's
rare.
just like something did shift where we're like, what in the fuck is going on? No, for real. From what it is now, from going and buying the little envelopes.
Yeah.
Oh, classic.
What
Dude,
happened?
strawberry banana
Classic.
shatter.
What happened?
Dang,
Fold it
I'm
back
having
up.
some flashbacks.
But
Yeah.
Dude, even extract artists though, or extracts, those guys will still be like, no, I'm doing the same thing, and it comes out different these days. So I don't know if are they
Maybe the flour's different.
or they're just
Or
they don't
maybe
want to take out that powder that they call CRC, and like they could get into that more, but they don't want to change that column. They don't. There's something going on where it's just not the same. They've either changed the way they want to do it. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. All I know is, man, if I could take that 2015 stuff,
Bring it back.
I'd smoke that right
Bring
now,
it
man.
back.
I'll smoke that right now. Be a happy camper.
Yeah, there's a lot of people nowadays that are like snobs about it. They're like, get that BHO away from me.
BH
It's
no.
like, BH no, yes.
I see that one a lot. I think that's just funny. I'm not gonna lie, that shit's hilarious.
It is funny.
I'm like, that's a good troll, dude. I'm like, well,
It
because
is
like
cool.
it is BH no. If it's like
It's
just
like that.
terrible,
Yeah, 100%.
really shitty CRC, like and I get it. Like, okay, for the person that's trying to just dab and maybe they don't have the most, they don't have the biggest budget for cannabis, and they're just like, dude, I got to dab what I could dab.
Mhm.
I get it. There's a place for everything, right? But to say that it's like great still,
Do you think it'll be like fashion one day? We'll smoke BHO again? Like it just goes in circles?
that'd be nice. I'm in.
Some
I'm in.
solventless people are trying to like recreate those vibes. It's like solventless shatter, or solventless diamonds, or they're
I've seen.
trying
Okay,
to.
so the diamond thing's that's been around for a minute.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen
like
some people
that
do it.
around. I have no idea what. Do you know what the fuck that is? Like, I have no idea how.
I don't know if it's just marketing. I don't.
Is this
You
a
see it, and it's like, yeah, is this really
manipulation?
What the fuck are
solventless?
they
Like,
doing?
I don't know.
Okay, let me ask this: is it any better?
No.
Mm.
So then it is marketing of like, hey, we're finishing half the BHO this way, or certain strains will do this for us, will
Yeah.
act this way.
Yeah.
And then and now we're gonna mix them. It's similar to, I would say you're better off doing that thumbprint stuff that you see people doing, where
I
they'll do
do see
one
that.
kind of BHO and
I
then
like
they'll do
that.
another
Yeah,
inside.
I like that.
And you can either dab both or mix them.
I like that. That's so a cannabis
Those are
Chris.
kinda cool.
I think
Those
that's
are
kinda cool.
I
I've
think
seen those.
cannabis Chris. Yeah, he's cool, dude.
Yeah.
I fuck with that.
What are you guys smoking on? Some Trilogy, I see.
We
Yeah,
got some
we-
trill jars out.
Honest after
Some
smoke
new
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. We got to bust open the flavors. Got the dabs
Bobby
in there.
usually
Yeah, Mr. Bob.
throwing a lot of terps this way. What do you got? Garlic cookies over there?
Yep, got
Yep.
grape spritzer.
Ooh.
You want that one?
Oh wait, no. Hand me the top one.
Oh,
Look, I have not tried this strain, and people have been telling me about this for a year.
really?
Bloom Seed Co.
What the
Black
fuck?
Maple.
Black Maple. I swear I've been trying to find this strain for a year, and I haven't seen it. I haven't gotten
I've heard
it.
great
I mean,
things as well.
Okay, I've been trying to find it. Super exaggerating. I have not put zero effort. It has not appeared in front of me in a year.
But it has now.
I feel like a
But it
Pokemon trainer, right?
has
Like
now.
it just appeared. I caught that thing right now. Get it. So this is cool, man. Who's this from? Bloom Seed?
He bred it.
Okay.
Bloom Seed bred it, but it's some of these guys that are breeders, they focus on hash strains, and he's like one who's just really came out with swinging on hash strains.
Oh, so this is for hash.
That strain's a hash strain.
ugly as flower. Who knows what it looked like as flower?
For the
'Cause
people
no
that
one's
don't
seen it.
know, what would you describe as a hash strain versus a flower strain?
Oh man, I mean, number one is that what is it wash percentage at? That's a
Right,
lot of
what's the
hashers are
yield?
gonna- and
What
not to
about
say
that?
that that's the only factor, but if it washes
Huge
less than
factor.
1%,
Right.
Not
people
even
aren't
worth
washing-
it.
no.
No, the math doesn't math. you
Mhm.
know,
And some
so-
guys will do it, but you'll never see any of it. It doesn't make it outside of one or two people. off
Friends
from
and
it.
family, like
So
10 jars.
the
tops.
flavor too. What does it bring to the table that other hash doesn't?
Mm.
Yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of it?
It's fine. That's fire. I'm dabbing that right now.
Bobby and Trilogy, they curate unbelievable. Like he just has that flavor profile. He knows hash.
Mm.
He's hard to beat. That
Yeah,
guy.
it's like the wine sommelier. You know, that's essentially what
Spin in it.
some people are just. Well, not even it. I've been in it. I
Mhm.
don't have that. Some people
Mm.
just have that. It's a skill.
Yeah.
You can learn that skill, sure, but some people just got it. Like is
Mm.
born with it type shit. Like I don't know. He just got a nose and a palate. Some people
just got the palate, man.
Yeah, bro. Like you just know. The nose knows, man. I'm definitely trying this.
Do you have a lighter I could borrow?
we probably have a torch or something.
Okay.
I have a actually. Do you have
Yeah.
a
That'll work. Yeah.
Some people are like, oh, I need a torch lighter.
Mhm,
Ah,
Certain way to light
I'm
it. Who
chill.
knows?
my
Who knows?
doink, dude.
That's why I'm in between speed and precision. Some people are all precision or all speed. I'm in the middle, but like
you're a
I'm
nice
not-
middle build. I
Bruh.
like it.
if I'm smoking 15 joints a day or 10 joints a day, I'm not tripping on like, oh, the mouthpiece on this one's a little bit, you know.
What is the daily consumption looking like?
I'm probably like a half ounce of flour.
Okay.
Fuck.
Flour mainly? Not really lining hash?
Yeah.
Okay, but wait, just joints?
Yeah, I'm 99% a joint smoker,
Wow,
but
okay.
all the hash I get given or all the hash that I accumulate through, I still buy crazy hash and
Right,
stuff.
sure.
It goes in joints. Like the first thing, I'll take a dab of it and I have no issue dabbing it. But the first thing I go to is, this is really nice. Let's put this in. Let's pair this with some. Well, because I'm a grower, right? So the first thing I start to think of is like, damn, that would be good with the Zerbo. Or let's put the Zerbo with the black maple, and now we
Thinking
get
of
the
combinations.
gassiness with
That's
the.
awesome. I like that. The combination.
That's
Yeah,
why I like
thinking of it immediately.
Piatella or let's say cold
cured.
cure full melt.
Is that what he likes?
I don't want to piss nobody off.
Is that what the guy likes calling it that invented it? Or he
Everyone has a different version. Now they're
Okay.
popping up. So like in the last 2 weeks, I think 3 different people I've run into who have their version of it.
Okay.
But no one wants to use that name because that is Uncle's.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
so
like came up.
they're giving him the respect on it. That's why they don't want to say
Yeah,
it.
he just came up with that word. So if I called like this weed like Schmeep Schmop, and like 6 months later you'd be like, hey, I caught some Schmeep Schmop. I'd be like,
They'd be
wait,
like, oh,
you'd be
bullshit.
like, wait, like this is the same weed, but
it's
I
not.
called it that.
Gotcha.
Like, what do you
so
mean?
So I
know?
got respect for you, so I'm not gonna call it the Shmeesh Spot.
Yeah,
I got you, dog.
I guess.
Kleenex.
I got you.
Kleenex over tissue. There you go.
There you go. That was that was the uncredited.
You like
that was the
old dude
Q-tip and con
That's
swab?
old dude shit.
Q-tip and con swab?
Yeah.
Hey,
Perfect.
hey, there you
Literally
go, there you
perfect. Oh, that's great. Sometimes that happens though, man. You
Hey.
might have to change your company name.
go. It's out
You're
there.
just too famous.
I like the Piatella, man. I love the Piatella. I'm a big fan. I just like
like
when
watching
newer things come out, or like new ways to consume, or new ways to just talk about the plant. Like I think it's fun. Like,
What's
makes
next?
Makes it more exciting. Yeah. What is next?
IV.
Oh, sniff. Remember the
I
can
thought that Baroni. Remember Baroni where they were doing like where it was God, it was like the ice, the not hot ice, but what do they call it? Where they were extracting it like in a new way using what the now I'm blanking.
Can we Google it? How do you spell it?
Baroni, Baroni.
Maybe it's on YouTube.
It was they had
We're gonna find it.
the dude, the clear scientist was behind
Dude,
it.
that guy.
You know what I'm talking about.
Was a demon, dude. What the hell?
BARON.
That guy was selling grams of distillate for $100. and respect. Shout out to that dude, man. Get your bag, bro.
ONI, I think.
Because what the hell? I was buying them too. I was like, this is insane.
Cannabis, maybe.
You know the
Fucking
ice that you put, it bubbles when you put it in water. What's it?
Dry ice.
Dry ice. So they were extracting it with dry ice, if I remember right.
Shit.
And so yeah, the Baroni Clear Science. So they were doing all their extractions with dry ice, and so that was where some people thought like, okay, maybe this is going that way.
Whoa.
Interesting.
I don't know. It's
There's
honestly
so many different ways now. To
that's what's
smoke.
dope about this
Right.
industry, right?
Just keeps going. It's never gonna stop.
Dude.
No,
It's very awesome. Speaking of joints, what's your ratio looking like if you're rolling some hash rolls? You care? You sticking the whole thing and you eyeing it?
3 grams to 3.5. I
Mhm.
usually will put an eighth.
Okay, a flower.
That's why you smoking a half.
I'd say
pound.
0.3. 0.2 to 0.3 a hash. Okay, I
nice.
can do a half a gram, but I don't think it's needed, especially
Right.
when you get into like ice wax or even some
Yeah.
of the good rosin.
Right.
I say that meaning I don't weigh it, so it probably
just
is more
eyeball
like
it a little
0.4,
bit.
0.5, but like I just love a good hash hole.
Yeah.
You know, like
Some people are rolling like the 1.5.
The 0.5s, 3 to 1. Yeah.
So your ratio is way different.
I like flour.
Okay.
Bro, this is the essence. This is where it all comes from.
Got you.
Like, take me to the waterfall. I'm open my mouth under the waterfall type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want that.
Yeah.
I want the flour, and then if I like the flour, let's put some hash with it. Let's
Okay.
put this with it. Let's put that with it.
Yeah, it kind of it accentuates it a little bit, makes it a little better, uplifts it.
I like a good dab, though. Don't get me wrong. You know, like who doesn't?
Nothing like
I mean, that's how we
man.
actually, I think, met was. Before that was even going to Secret Sesh, and you're on stage and you guys got a booth and we're doing all that, and like predominantly a lot of extracts at Secret Sesh.
I would say like more than 75%.
See, so dude, I remember the first time getting strawberry banana Professor Sift in envelopes, and I think it was even flour rosin at the time. It wasn't even hash rosin. And dude, I mean, that was Secret Sesh was the thing.
There was a like, I think it was 2016 where it was just everything was strawberry banana, and I was just having a ball. I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, this shit's not real, bro. Like, where'd that go? Did that just die off? No one like that shit?
Things get burned out, I guess.
That shit
huh?
was
I see it every once in a while in
fire. I
rosin
love
form, but
that
not
right
very much
now.
flour.
I've never seen it in rosin.
Really? Straw nana?
Bro,
I
that'd
see
be
it every once in a while.
Gas.
Ooh.
But right now, everything is every label I see got a Z on it, and that's fine.
At the front, at the beginning.
I don't mind.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's somewhere on there. It's somewhere on there where it definitely has a Z on it. Like I'm surprised this.
Is there a strain you want to bring back, Black Leaf, from back in the day?
If I was gonna put 3 strains that I wish we could have back in or even
like
like
this.
let's say 3 strains that it doesn't even have to be the exact strains, but let's find a profile that matches what we remember.
That's nice.
Nice.
Because like we're not gonna get the old Dutch Passion blueberry back. And we don't really have like a blue Kush or a blueberry. Like Blue Dream is not blue. There's permanent marker blue that is so in your face blue that it's like a neon blue. You know, we miss those terps. Like I miss the original blueberry, and I'm not talking DJ Short's blueberry. I mean Dutch Passion's blueberry. Like there's just distinct things in history that you're like that was the real blueberry terp.
That
like
was the
that.
one.
That would be one. Juicy Fruit, which was originally like Thai crosses. I think we're missing a lot of Thai. It brings so much flavor, but who wants to grow 120-day sativas or 90-day sativas? Like,
0 people.
Yeah. Literally.
Like actually 0 humans. They're just like, nah.
And then the third would be skunk.
Oh.
I don't think 3 of those profiles we don't see in almost any cannabis today.
Right.
And skunk would be the last one, which we used to get is called Crippy or just skunk.
Crippy.
And it was just lime green. Again, it would be, now that Skittles has been such a big thing coming back, I think you could bring skunk back because it's just green weed, but loud.
Yeah, because like there was a moment in time where if it wasn't colorful, your bag was, you're getting less money.
Even today,
good
almost.
Good luck to sell your bag. Yeah, it's like
You got to have that clientele.
it's slowly creeping. Like I'll take OGs, Skittle. It's creeping back where it's like green weed's great.
Make it great again, man.
But,
It's
like-
crazy. It's all purple and shit now.
But then like you go to everyone's head stash, even growers, guys that are in charge of, a good portion of Southern California's top weed. And you go to their facility or you hang out with them and then you're like, what are you smoking on? And it's literally Z crosses or it's like archive Z crosses. It's, it's all these rainbow belts, moon bow. It's everything that's a version though of trying to find Z that doesn't grow like Z. So yes, purples sell and like the mass market wants purples. But like if you ask like that grower who's growing all those purples, like what are you smoking on right now? I'd say most of the time it's a Z cross right now.
I would say that's definitely going to be true right now.
Yeah.
I want their answer to be OG, but it's not.
I can only think of like 2 guys. That Kushco maybe, right? Like
I want that to be their answer, but it's not.
because even the OG guys, so we just linked up with Payaso and the Cannabis Brothers, and even the stuff they're hunting right now is their White Fire times Z or their other stuff that they're known for.
They're smart and they have to. They're not just going to sit there and be like, "Hey, I'm going to stick on what we've been growing, and we're gonna adapt." That's what they got to do.
Got it.
The White Fire Z sounds fucking lit.
That's what first thing I said. I was like, the one? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, the one that dumps, dude. That one. That's
That'd
the
be good
BHO
in
that I'm
hash.
talking about. Yeah, like that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
You don't
That's
see a
that
lot of
25.
OG hash.
That's my number one complaint is that it just doesn't wash. Is everything I'm always told is just never washes and never washes and never washes. And I'm like, you're just keeping the hash. Even if it did wash, you just keep it.
Gatekeeping the hash.
You're just fucking
man.
keeping it, dude. You fucker.
We got a
Like,
small batch, 14 grams. It stays with the grower.
yeah, you fucker. You got like one tray that's just OG. You son of a bitch. But no, there's some strains that don't wash well, but in BHO, it's no problem because that solvent's gonna fucking.
It's gonna get it no matter what.
It's gonna take that.
But then the
fucking
market's like, no, we don't want that then. And it's like, no, you haven't had it yet.
You don't know what it is.
The guys who have had it are telling you like, no, trust me, this is top notch.
The same guys that you trust on their rosin opinion, but you're telling that their opinion is wrong on. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But for the last, I don't know, when did CRC start coming about? However long this window has been, there's a whole group of smokers that have never had good BHO.
True.
Like there's a group of them, like years, where they've never seen it, smelled it, smoked it, looked at it.
That.
Like they don't even they just in their head it's bad. Like it's the CRC bright yellow fucking lemon pine sol grossness, and it's just
Smells like those things you throw in the dryer.
yeah.
Or
it's got that blueberry
Or like when you
smell.
open up, you go to Office Depot and you open up some printer paper and you smell that
Just
shit.
take
You're
a-
like, God,
it's like damn, I'm high. Wrong
are you supposed to be
stuff.
smoking this? Yeah.
Probably.
But
not.
it's sad though because a lot of people listening, they're so detached from it that they'll be like, oh, these guys don't know what they're talking, or like rosin, it's solventless over everything. And you're like, dude, you know the testing standards on a lot of this BHO when we were doing competitions was insane. It was transparent where they were showing you this is how much residual solvent is
Yeah,
left.
most would say non-detectable.
Yes.
You literally could not detect it. Like, bro, there's more stuff in your food, like, which is crazy. Like, there's
for
more,
damn sure.
like, there's more shit in your McDonald's, bro. Like, I promise, than there was in that BHO.
Well, and you
And
were
there's
around
probably
the
more
best
stuff
guys.
in that rosin, because like a lot of people hear rosin, they're like, oh, it's safe. Fuck
True.
you. They can't press moldy. They can't wash moldy weed like that. What? They could do all kinds of bad stuff. So yeah, I don't know. The argument always like it's one that always like gets me a little. I'm like, oh, you gonna rile me up right now, you fuckers? like why are you gonna say there's no good BHO? Because they in their head there's not, and I can't convince them because they haven't had it, and I understand that. I get it. Like they haven't had it. So bring it back, somebody, please.
Yeah, and do it the way that we remember it. Don't try to fudge with it. Like, don't bring us something and be like, remember this,
Yeah,
and it's
stick it in a
not
glass
that.
tube in your backyard, bro, with some cans of Newport, man. Like, what are you doing?
You gotta start at midnight and you finish at 5 a.m. before anyone comes out of their house.
Get out of the fucking lab, dude.
Oh, dude.
Maybe that's the problem, dude. You be in a fucking shed or something, dude. I don't know. It was hitting in 2015, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
The industry is ever evolving, though, and you know that. You've had a stranglehold on it. You were throwing the top events, Tim, in California. Like, honestly, bro, and I'll touch on this. At the time, I had just come back from Colorado. I'm living in Florida, and I wanted to move to Miami. And I was like, dude, we're gonna get some property down there outside of Miami, and we're gonna pop off a few big ass cribs.
fuck yeah.
My business partner at the time, that was just my friend at that time, had been like, bro, you got to go to Cali. I'm telling you. You've told me, like, I had been telling him about it, but he's like, no, trust me. Like, we got to go before we make this decision. We came out, we went to Secret Sesh. And this would have been end of 2013 going into 2014 or 2014, somewhere in that range of a year. So first ones, if I remember right,
Yeah, no,
where
definitely.
we were being told that used to be in a mansion, but now it's at this place and they're getting a new place soon. And when I saw pounds of weed on tables and I saw people basically like a farmer's market of like, here's everything I do of my arts. And that was like, oh yeah, we're moving to Cali.
You're like, fuck, Florida,
No,
we'll
dude.
see you later, dude.
I was like, bro, there's no cop, there's no like raid happening right now. There's no like, we're walking
Thank
outside
God.
and I'm looking up and down the street like, we're not getting set up here. No one's taking photos in front, like, you know, and it just, we were like, yeah, we're coming to Cali. Like that was 10
love
years
that.
ago.
I love
That was the convince though, was
Fuck
like,
yeah.
holy shit.
Fuck yeah, let's go. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. That's exciting. That's good lord.
Crazy. Yeah,
That's
that is
W
good
Lord,
lord.
dude.
Because I
That
was
is
on
good lord.
probation
Oh shit.
for STEM.
Oh shit.
What?
And so to come to a place where you
Wow.
got pounds on the table and they try to hit me with distribution because
Oh,
of
shit.
the STEM's weight and shit.
Yeah.
So to go from that and
It's so
think,
insane to think about it.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on, pause. Wait,
Yeah.
wait. This the weight of the stems they were trying to charge you for?
they were vacuum
gram?
sealed. So they put the vacuum seal stems on top of the thing and they're like 180 grams. You know, so then they try to take your car though, because they say this is like
Yeah, it's a federal crime and fucking oh shit. We're gonna seize your home.
STEM.
Fuck.
Just stem.
That's
Stems,
awesome.
like
wait,
bag
wait,
it.
wait. What the fuck were you doing with these stems?
Growing, moving. Like,
You're trying to trash them?
dude, you know what's funny?
Why were they vacuum sealed? Now I got questions.
So this is where it gets crazy. I'm growing it at the time, right?
Okay.
We have a grow crib.
okay.
You know, and you're also making rounds and you're linking up with the homies and
Yeah.
making things. So that morning I go to see my buddy and let's say I'm allegedly picking up some paperwork and stuff.
Allegedly,
And
of course.
yeah, and he's like, hey bro, don't you make badass edibles? And I was like, yeah, I do. And at the time I had come back from Colorado already. So they were already up on game of like gummies, chocolate bars. Like there was
They
some
did.
high end level stuff going on as far
Yeah.
as edibles. And I was like, yeah, I do have, we do some stuff. So my buddy's like, dude, I got these unbelievable stems from your weed. So it's weed that I
Oh,
grew,
shit.
but it's the stems from them breaking down and them taking the bud stems and like,
Okay, so not like a fucking
but
stock of the
hundreds
tree.
of
Like
100
little-
grams.
little stems.
And so frosted out.
Oh fuck.
So that's where I couldn't pass it up. And I look at it, and this is where like the hoarder in you comes in, and you're just
I
like,
can't waste it.
yeah, bro, and it was like a bundle. He's like, I've been saving these and I was like, yeah, seal them up, and I'll take them with me. So I grab them.
fuck.
I go to the grow house, your whole day goes through because you're thinking it's a fucking little, it's in a public shopping bag. I go to the grow. I end up staying there longer than I thought. Welcome to grow life. And you leave and it's about dusk, right? It was sunset and stuff. And I'm in Podunkville, Florida. I'm in that's where the grow house is. You be a little bit outside the city, right? Way cheaper and less people around, say. And I come around a bend and he said I was speeding, but I just got profiled, and it goes from like 50 to 35 around this bend. And they would sit right on the other side and it's dark and this is, where the trees wrap around. We're in the backwoods of Florida.
Yeah, there's no street lights. It's dark as shit.
And he pulls me over. At the time, I swear, I literally told myself, you ain't got shit on you. Like, game on, what's up? And then I was
search
like,
the car, bro.
And then I'm like, oh shit, those dumbass stems from earlier. And so we just went through that whole process of like, is he, he comes get okay, we'll go through it. So he comes and gets my license and stuff. And I'm like, I did come from a grow house, but I don't think I smell because you never really think you smell, but I probably did. So he comes back with the license and stuff. And he's like, he goes back to his car and then he's there for a while.
You're
and
like,
well, then you see the lights. I see another cop coming.
Jeez.
And I was like, oh, he called the canine. So I roll up the windows and whatever. They walk the canine around the car. It hit on the back of, think about an open bed truck. No topper, open bed truck.
Okay.
The dog hits on the back of the open bed truck, supposedly, allegedly. And so, hey, the dog hit on the truck, like step out of the vehicle. And it's like open bed.
I've seen so many videos though where that's like bullshit.
You go like this and it fucking,
the dog
goes.
sits or jumps like this. I've seen literally dozens of videos where that.
And I'm in the woods of Florida with this is no body cam type of.
Nah, they're searching.
So when they come though and they say like, we're going to search the vehicle, I was like, I don't give. I'm not allowing
I'm not
that.
consenting that.
And they're like, we don't need to. The dog
like, fuck
hit.
you.
And so then like, I try to like kind of toss the key and we go through this whole little thing of like, I get handcuffed and fucking put in the back of the car and shit. And yeah. And then it was just crazy that it was like, dude, all that. And then to come to Cali and be like,
freedom.
What? Night and day with a 5-hour plane flight later, you're in a whole different world.
Yeah.
Stems is the most crazy thing though.
But then to come out here and have a grow op that we're like,
no
supposedly is legal. We're Prop 250. We went to lawyers. They said, hey, yeah, we'll defend you. If
99 plants.
you need these signatures from this many people. And so we gave away free joints if you would sign up so we could grow for you.
Dude, I probably still
awesome.
have binders of people's medical recommendations. And I probably still have a binder somewhere from like the Prop 215 days because we were a collective. Like we were a Prop 215 like medical collect, like a dispensary essentially. You know, like
loose.
So yeah, loose. I remember going into grows and they would have people's like medical things like up on the wall.
That's what we had.
I'd be like, yeah,
that's fire.
We literally had a binder at the front door.
I'm growing this 12 plants for this person right there. Dude.
Times 1,000 people.
He has fucking cancer, dude. Like,
yeah.
Shut this down.
Damn, that's crazy. So before you got into the game, before the podcast, when you said you were in Florida, is that where you were born
That's
and raised?
where I was born and raised.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when did weed start to find you, or did you find the weed, or what happened there? How did that relationship start?
I had friends in high school. I always was like the good kid who hung out with the bad kids.
Got you.
That was just, and I know it's funny to say, but it was like 100% true. And like a couple of my friends were in like dropout prevention and stuff, but they were like as real as it gets, and we had a blast. So they always were around weed, and they would do things like hotbox the car, and I'd hop in. And I was never the guy like I can't be around it. I was just like, no worries, I'm here.
Right.
So were you just in the hotbox not hitting it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And they would, fuck around and be like, dude, hit it, but I just never was into it, right? And then the first time I go to college, the first time I smoked, bro, I was in college. So think about like, I'm older at that
so
point.
you like actually waited a
Yeah.
while. No, that's like
A lot of people.
super late for
Yeah.
some people. College is not like early. Like, dude, I think I smoked fucking pot at like 13 or some shit like a dumbass.
Nah.
But at the same time,
But
it's
I
where a
also
lot of-
started growing weed the same year I started smoking weed.
Whoa.
That's a trip.
Yeah.
That's a trip. to
Because
think
I was
about right
older.
there.
So it was like,
you were like,
oh, I
fuck.
like this. And then I was like, I really like this. And I was like, let's put some plants in the ground.
Nice.
And I was also-
Was it for the same reason I feel like a lot of people do it? It was for I just want to smoke it for free. Was it for yourself, or did you want to get into other people's hands too?
At the time, I couldn't even put it into words. I found it like I've always been like a sciencey type of guy, and I'm very into the process and like creativeness. At the time, I was getting so I moved into the fraternity house, and one of my fraternity
shit, nice.
brothers,
shit.
yeah, first year. I'm like an all-in type of guy. You'll
Yeah.
get this through the story. Like I jump in both feet, ready to go. And so I rush a fraternity, and it just so happened that like one of the guys in my fraternity just had weed that looked like no one else's weed. So I'm maybe smoking and moving around for like 3-4 months, and I realized like, dude, this weed, every strain, it does not look like anyone else's weed. And he was actually younger in the fraternity than me, but
shit.
older than me by like 5 years.
Oh, interesting.
Weird, right?
All
Yeah.
Weird dynamic.
Yeah, what's going on here,
And
bud?
he was running a grow house with another guy who wasn't in my fraternity, but we all became friendly. And so we built a relationship, and they also saw that like, I want to stick some seeds in the ground. So I built out where I had my TV on top of like, you got your little fraternity room, like my little room, right? And I'm in the top hallway. I built out like where you would put your TV on top of, like a TV stand, but I put like I put computer fans into it and put a little light. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just put lights in there and put put it in the soil and cover it up.
You're like, I'm gonna grow.
And watering it with like Zephyr Hills and shit, But like they saw that, and it just so happened that it evolved to me being able to flush a lot of the herb that was around. Like, and then it got to the point where I was like, I'll take everybody's. Like, if it's like that, I'll take it all. Like all of it. Like, don't.
As long as it's good.
Yeah. And so when it came time, it was, hey, this guy, we have a 3-way thing. We want to take you there. Will you get blindfolded? And
Wait, they blindfolded you for a 3-way? Hold on.
yeah, it does sound.
Hold up. What happened here?
No homo. And so, I got blindfolded, went to this crib off campus, and they were like, hey, the third partner is leaving. And I actually had met him a few times. Yeah. This is the cost if you want to buy in. And
Initiation.
Yeah, and so we went through that. And
You knew the other two people that were.
I was friendly. So one of them was my fraternity brother.
Yeah, he
but
was your
then
boy. He was your boy.
His best friend, I had also become friendly with, and we were
Got
all
you.
kind of, so it was a Peruvian guy and a Cuban guy, right?
You were selling the work.
Yeah, as much as I could,
Yeah,
right?
he was selling the work, right? So there was like,
Just like kids on campus and shit. Just like.
Well, and
he
they
was
see,
like-
wow, he's interested in growing, and he's moving
There it
all
is.
our weed. Like, and
Mm.
I'm not a dummy. I'm easy to be around. I move around. I can
putting
help.
you through the ringer to fucking stall. They was
For sure.
making sure you was chill. Nah, that's awesome though. That's lit. They was putting you on.
But there was this one guy that would come around to our fraternity house. And think about this: you're an older brother. These are younger guys and
Okay.
guys that are visiting,
Okay.
and they'd be like, "Hey, bro, can you leave the room?" And you'd be like, and so I'm not a. So it's like, yeah. So this one dude who was like a surfer kid, like you would picture him as just a white surfer dude,
Okay.
would come to the fraternity house. But whenever he would come, I would have to exit the room, and it was the only time.
Oh, shit.
So I just realized like this is the guy. So I made a point a few times, and I'll be totally clear about this. Some people are like, that's gate jumping, but he would come by and I would be like, hey, what's going on, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, man? I'm
Yeah,
Lance.
hit him
Yo,
up.
what's up?
Yep.
And the first 2 or 3 times, it was nothing more than like, I made sure I was at the front door of the fraternity house when he came, and I was just like, yo, what's going on, bro?
Yep.
And he was like, hey, what's up? So then we threw a fraternity party one time, and me and him, we become friendly. And I realized like this guy is the guy. He was selling $30 half ace at the time of Juicy Fruit, the strain Florida Juicy Fruit. And he had blueberry, he had pot of gold. He just had these strains and his weed, he was a different level than their weed. So picture this is homegrown fire, and then you see this dude shit, and you're like 2 levels even above that.
Just keeps getting better
had the
somehow.
smoke.
You're
Bro,
like,
I remember at one point he was selling $30 grams of Juicy Fruit. $30 a gram, how many you want? And people were being like, let me get an ounce, I guess. Oh, it was nuts, bro. Like, he's the guy.
Awesome.
So me and him become friendly. I start to work at this grow, right? And it cost me, if I remember right, $8,000, which was like everything I had hustled up at the time and had enough for like the next month's rent. I buy into it, and then a year of just paying bills and learning how to grow, thinking you were going to make money. You know? Great weed, but like we would run like 2 plants of each strain or 1 plant of each strain, and it was like 30 plants a room, and you're paying the electric bill, and you're doing all this stuff to where it's like now you got 3 partners. So you're splitting it. So at the most you make, you break even with your time at best.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
So it was a
If you're
good
lucky.
learning process of like, do you love this or do you just like this?
No, definitely. Is this a passion or are you just trying to get a quick buck? Because
You
you're
know.
not getting a quick buck around here.
No, this is not easy. And also like, you're also learning the process of like, do I want to work and grow?
Mhm.
Like I tell a lot of people like, it seems different than you're going to realize. And you realize very quickly, like it's not for everybody.
It's not for me. I found out the hard way. It's definitely not for me personally. But I'm glad I did it for a while up on a mountain, fucking in the middle of nowhere, just working my ass off. Cause I would never do it again, but I have a respect for farmers.
For sure.
Like I
For sure.
have a respect because bro, it's a grind. Like,
What is it about you what is it about the grind that you didn't like or the grind?
the allergies for me, is the
for sure.
biggest issue.
For
But
sure.
even if I didn't have the allergies, it's long hours.
Mm.
Like for me, up on a mountain in the greenhouse, like when it would be like snowing outside, and I got to go make sure the plants
Still got to
are
make
warm,
that
and I'm,
trek.
like, fucking freezing. I just don't want to do it.
Ah.
It's just a million things. Worry about people robbing you.
Mm.
You know, like that's like
Mhm.
constantly
Mhm.
being. A helicopter flies over my mountain. I'm like freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit! Everybody, don't move. They don't see us. Like, it's just there's a million. You can just keep going, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just- yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So respect to the farmers, dude. We love
For
you guys.
sure.
We fucking literally
They
love
make
you
all
guys.
this happen, man.
We,
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
we wouldn't have any of it with no
Mhm.
one grew the weed. So I don't even like smoking flower as much as I do dabbing nowadays. But like, dude, shout out to the farmers.
Yeah,
Like, we
yeah.
love y'all. We
So
love
maybe
y'all.
a lot of people are in that step listening in college, they're growing some plants. How did you take it to that next level of they're just like breaking even, maybe they're learning a lot, but they're like, man, I want to like make some bread off this, or I want to like make this, something.
I think that's the breaking point that sometimes you don't have to go through now was that like, damn, dude, you're about to do this and not knowing at the time, you're oblivious, but like 5, 6, 7 years of this and you're just learning, you're breaking a lot of it, which is at best. A lot of people, if you're trying to really learn something, you might even pay to learn.
Yeah.
So I'm giving my time up in exchange for learning. I got around the right people. That's probably the best answer is that when I got around a certain individual, I call him my mentor, right? When it comes to cultivation, 'cause I have many throughout my life that I learn from and I can take lessons from and sponge up knowledge and be like, I'm in a different place with my branding and marketing. So I need to be around that. I learned that from this guy in my life who's great at branding and marketing. So I got around this guy who his passion for weed was 100x what anybody around me was or anyone I had met. And he took the very much science to it. And this is also a guy who's like straight A student, double major.
Oh, shit.
So it was all of the stigma broken.
Right. You met him in Florida?
Yeah, he was
Oh,
the
awesome.
guy who would come around and I'd have to leave the room.
Oh, that was him. It all
He's the
makes sense
one.
now.
It's
It all
Neo.
makes sense.
Bro, it really is
Chosen
Neo.
one.
I used to joke with friends and I would say, everyone would be like hella impressed when back in the day, like with my weed, with us talking about growing, with any, and then I would say, as soon as I introduce you to my mentor, it's the last time in front of, they're like, now it's like, bro, you KP, bro, you got to meet this dude KP. And it's like, I leave the conversation. He was just a master when it came to passion. That was probably we didn't have all the bells and whistles, but we had passion. And this guy just had 100x what anybody, I mean, he's the type of guy who would, I got to get up at 3 a.m. because I have a final at 7, but we have a harvest and, just really
Nice.
no half-assing.
Grind and a half.
So that's what took it to where, even then though, bro, we never had a grow together.
Oh.
The first grow that we had together, he got raided
Oh,
and our whole partnership fell apart before it even really got going.
Dang.
Florida's crazy, bro.
The Wild West.
Yeah. And like, that's even a crazier.
This was a little bit ago too.
This would have been 2004, 5,
This is
and
20 fucking years ago,
2004 and 5.
Mm.
2 decades ago. Fucking shit.
That's when I started in 2002. I put my first plants in the ground 2002, the end. And then I had a grow, like where I was involved in a grow op 2003. That was my first.
So awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean,
Decade.
time is one thing, but passion and persistence is another. So you can
True.
just be like, I've been in the game for 30 years. Okay. But I've been in the game 30 years making weight. That's a different thing,
Mhm.
right? Or really doing some shit.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
no, we always would feel like we're on the other side of the world, it felt like in Florida.
Right.
And we would be like, do you think our stuff compares to Cali? Because we always you hear about it, you heard about Cal. It's the Mecca.
mythical
This
thing.
is the Mecca. I know, and this is coming from someone who's not from here.
Right.
Like, I'd love to be like Florida, but it's like, dude, no, we knew like, yo, if you want to go to where this shit really, the birthplace and also where the tightest competition is, in my opinion, yeah, this is welcome to it. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you think
Nice.
that changes or matters if and when it becomes federally legal?
I thought it did. And I thought, man, you could put up a warehouse in the middle of Kansas and export it all over the world, and you're paying pennies of what it would cost almost anywhere else, any other state, right? You could, just like the reason people do taxes
Yeah, exactly.
in certain states.
Yep.
But then we've yet to see that happen.
Yep.
And so that's there's this weird factor in cannabis, which is like, gray area. And it's like hard to define. And sometimes what you think would happen isn't what happens. And it is a cool kids club, like skateboarding, where like, it's hard to explain it to investors or outside people. What's the cannabis industry like?
Yep.
It's that's why these podcasts do so well, because you're giving people insight on like, no, this is actually how it works. There's so many outsiders who watch, I'm sure you're showing like, oh, I didn't understand that.
Right.
No,
Like how in depth.
For surely.
4 or 5 moments of the just.
Yeah, I learned shit, every episode
today.
too.
I had
so.
one with the Pytel.
Yeah.
I love these episodes.
The cold cure full melt.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is.
Hey.
My bad. No, we don't want to. The last thing we want to do is step on
me.
people's toes.
What do you think is the most impactful thing that mentor taught you? That you like still that you're like, wow, this guy like kind of brought it out
Taught
of me or
me.
something.
I think the first thing he did was open a door for me, which is passion. He's like, dude, you can be who you are, and you don't have to be like the stigma of like drop out. This is my only thing I could do is grow weed for the rest of my life. Like you can be this, you can do anything, but you choose to do this. And then that door opened for passion. The number one thing he taught me, I would honestly say it would be between two things. Number one, he taught me what real good weed actually is. Because if you don't really know what good weed is, it's like not knowing where the North Star is. You're never going to get there. You haven't experienced what fresh, top-notch, cared-for herb, no problems, no bugs, no pesticides, not like you get to this point where you're like, this is as good as this strain could ever be. We've grown it 100 times, 6 different ways, deep water culture, hydroponic, coca, like 3 different lights, 2 different houses, 4 different houses. He's had it, you've had it. We've had grapefruit in every which way. Like this is what an unbelievable expression of this is. And I think when you know what that is, you're always chasing this North Star. So you know which way to go. The second thing he probably taught me was planning. As a young grower, doing build outs, you would go to Home Depot or like need supplies 100 times a day. And you would get through one step and realize I need more chain or I need more. And it gets to the point where half your day is spent running errands every day, and the other half is doing half a build out. And so for me, he would sit down and say, okay, we're doing this build out, or we're doing this today. Let's just say whatever it is today. Think through it. Step 1, you wake up, then what? Okay, we're doing the build out. What are you going to do? Oh, we're putting screws into the walls. Do we have screws? Do you have the drill ready? Okay. Step 2, what walls? Oh, the main wall.
detailed.
Oh yeah, you walk through your whole day of like your process and you say, do I have everything prepared today that when I get there, I can knock this out without having to be like Ace Hardware, this, that. Oh, I don't have the right lumber. Did I measure right? None of that. You plan it out and then you accomplish it. He was so detailed, bro, that he has journals even to this day of when I run this strain with House and Garden nutrients versus Botanicare nutrients, the same exact setups. This is my trim and flower. This is my trim and flower. So he can say with Death Star, it actually, you get more flower per run with Death Star under House and Garden where, hold on. I mean, he
was locked in.
But that's why when you say like, open the door for passion, like, yeah, bro, look what this guy's doing. And you're like, I could at best achieve this. Like this is, obviously have different strengths, but they lapse over. His is accounting and just numbers. And there's 2 different types of growers in life, Eric. And you'll know within 5 minutes of talking to them. And it's very rarely do they cross over to be the same person. And you can tell because they'll open the combo with, the build out, how many lights, the exhaust fans, the technical stuff of the facility, or they'll immediately start to talk about strains, the herb, the quality, the smokability. It's one or the other. It's
so great.
rarely both. You get this 1 to 10% of guys that are both, but they're always stronger in one. Sometimes the best guys are better at both. But I can always tell talking to any grower within the first 5 minutes, it's like looking at a car, right? And so whatever they pick out, I know, okay, this is this type of guy. And it's dead on. Oh, dude, 30-ton ACs, two ACs per room, 60 humidifiers, 40 lights. You're like, oh, okay, I got you.
I'm literally running through like every
grower that I was thinking.
And I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, dude.
Now you need them both together.
Yeah. It's so spot on though, because it's almost how like your brain works, right? It's like the creative versus that technical side. They're splitting up, and it is just a small percentage that has both.
Yeah.
Rare.
In your opinion, that is the best though, to have the traits of both.
Yeah, and maybe you need to put them together because you don't want to tell someone like, hey man, you're unbelievable at this and you're not great at this. So now let's take the next 20 years and learn this. That needs to be something they want to do.
Right.
So then you say, okay,
Huge. That's huge.
you're great at yin. Let's put you with a yang.
Boom.
And let's see. And obviously personalities and all kinds of stuff come into play.
Bunch of variables.
Partnerships are very difficult, as you guys know.
Yes.
And the best ones is communication over everything. But like, there's two types of growers and it's one or the other.
No, that was great. I love
classic.
That's another note that people can take down from this episode is
Well, think about who you're working with because you guys have product.
Yep.
When you talk to that head grower, if the facility's already built and it's running well, he needs to be shifting to strains, smokability. It needs to be, or someone on that team has to be there doing that.
Yeah.
Versus like, when you're doing the build out or you're designing a facility or when you have a facility that's problematic and it's constant problem solving. Yeah, dude, I want to be talking to the guy who's telling me how he's fixing the electrical at midnight and things going down and he's problem solving. So it could be two different people. And that's my mentor is that guy. I'm not. You start talking to me, I'm talking to you about hashes and collab strains and branding and marketing and genetics. And then when you start to talk to build outs and shit, I start to glaze over like we're in accounting class. No, for real, like what? Assets go where now? But I've done enough of it, but it's not something I enjoy. So it's like I would immediately, as who I am in the garden and what my strengths are, or even as a brand, I'm like, okay, I need the guy. That's the technical build out guy.
Yep.
And the best ones I've seen are that. Like I'm around a lot of growers. Obviously, you are who you're friends with too. And so a lot of the best relationships, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's the strain guy and then the employment of everything.
Yep.
Just like you guys, I'm sure.
Teamwork's important. Yeah,
Not that you're not a creative, Tim, but like obviously Eric's super creative. And then you're 6 o'clock, I'm sure we got to be at this. We're going here. This is what we're going to do for this. Here's the planning. Here's the processing. Same thing, Like,
Eric, we are not missing another fucking flight. Get on this plane.
He's like, I'm getting this car though, or I'm dealing with this
Pick
guy.
me up right now, bro.
Coming, I'm coming, man.
But that's the best partnerships.
No, yeah. But like you mentioned, though, one of the key things is just that communication is so huge. And that's something that's the most difficult thing in any partnership. It could be your relationship. It could be your business. It's communicating is so difficult as just a human being in general. Like that's a skill people got to work on regularly.
Right.
Try to talk more, man. Try to figure that out, bro. Practice that skill.
That is a skill you learn for sure.
100%.
So you're in Florida, you're growing the weed. How did you make your way out to California, this Mecca that was in your mind that you're like, I need to get out there? Did you even have that thought that you needed to get out there? Did you want to like run the Florida game or like what was your thought process?
I had a lot of close calls. And when my mentor got raided, we were involved deep, and I really thought for the first run of my life, I had this thing that I always had to battle with, and it was, I love this thing so much. I think this is my life's passion, and it brings so much chaos to my life, and I mean true chaos. Right. Everything you hear about the weed game, negative. Yeah. I've dealt with. And it just felt like, man, why am I always the one who's and I felt like at a point I was becoming someone or just like, man, this doesn't even feel like me. I'm having to be this other person to play this role because people want to, they want you to have to be that guy.
Mhm.
And why can't I be me and just love this plant and grow and be this nurturing, caring person that I truly am inside versus being someone who has to put this hard front out and be willing to back that up because of the game in Florida and all the fucking, Florida, New York, and California, very unique states, a lot of transients, a lot of people who burnt their bridge in New York and came to Florida or are running game. And it's the same thing here. And so you get a lot of, when there's lawlessness and you're like, I can grow weed here, it also comes with other lawlessness.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so we kept hearing Colorado is going to be the first legal state. Colorado is going to be the first legal state to go. I just knew like I gotta remove myself from this situation. And every time I connect myself to a group, now if anyone in that group has an issue, we all have an issue. So it was just never ending. So I just realized at one point there when I lost my mentor is what I'll say. When that relationship, I felt like it's like losing a parent. I would consider it almost a little bit to where I felt like, okay, I'm on my own now. No one can help me. This is it. Well, and then it's like you against the world. So you go through a lot of years of like, people want to take everything you built. People want that grow. They want to steal those plants. They want to take that money. They want to follow you home. They want it all.
Yeah,
they
very
want to take
defensive.
everything. They want to even take your energy and your passion from you.
Fuck yeah.
So you put up a wall and you start to build this wall of like, okay, this is what you want, then this is what you get. And that's when I was like, I gotta get to Colorado. I gotta do this legally. I have a degree in college. I graduated. I've done all this stuff. I'm a good person. Like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here.
Mhm.
Did you feel like you were becoming not a good person? Is that like
No, I just felt like I
it was
don't
getting dark?
enjoy this. Yeah, man. And
Mm.
like, I don't like, this is this never ending cycle of like, you put yourself in a situation where like, where does this end? Where is this going?
the threat of, like just the threat of a robbery, the threat of jail, the threat of any of this, it's just
Family members getting in because of something I'm doing, getting in trouble. And then also like everyone I deal with is a threat, even though they could be a friend. There's someone I
be
consider
at
a friend.
church and you're like, what the hell's this pastor fucking doing?
Or I'm eating
Anything.
dinner with you and your girl, and we've been friends for 8 years, but you got some shit brewing or something happened in your life, and now I can't be around you, bro. And so I had some friends also that's a
Damn.
hard realization that you and I are friends. You get in trouble. I got a lot going on. You and I aren't so close right now.
Right.
And it's not that we're not friends. I just don't hit me up for a little bit. And then when I mean a little bit, I mean like a year. So your relationship. So you just start to. So I packed up all my shit. I was in a relationship at the time, and I was like, "You follow me out there. Flew out, got a house, packed up all my shit, drove out to Colorado in 2000 and end of 2009, 2010.
Fuck yeah.
They were like the first legal spot. So it was the Wild West, bro. When we got out there, it was like probably the beginnings of Prop 215, but cops weren't doing anything. So you're in Colorado and there's shops everywhere and everyone's growing. And I'm meeting growers and they're like, we're from Pittsburgh. And you're meeting the guy down the road and he's like, I'm from Atlanta. And it's all the guys that were in similar situations where they had found this thing they love or they want to grow weed for a living and they can't do it in their city anymore for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Flocked to Colorado when it went
That
legal.
was the first
So-
spot to go to.
Exactly. And so you're meeting just passionate cannabis people like, oh, dude, I had an underground shop in New York for years. We had a delivery, but now they're in Colorado and now they're doing, so all these guys, it felt like this is where I need to be. And someone once said to me, great advice, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated.
I like that.
For sure.
I like that a lot.
And it felt like that. So got out there and me and my mentor and myself had been disconnected since the raid.
Oh, okay.
And so I actually saw weed on the shelf and I knew there's only 3 people that have this strain.
And you were like, hold on a second.
And I know one of them, it ain't how. So I had his number still in my phone and I had texted him and just said, welcome to Colorado, big dog. Or welcome to Colorado. And I didn't get a response, but I just knew like Presidential Kush, that was a strain that we all grew. that's like, there's like 3 people. That's like, it's a small team, let's just say. And so you just know like, okay, this is, and I can even tell by the damn quality, like it's gotta be this guy.
You're like, I know.
Yeah, unless someone leaked our like it's impossible. And so then that was a hard run, bro. Colorado was hard lessons because first through the gate, you see all the money come in, people that are like, we got money, first grow ops, first. So I got to watch my mentor get into partnerships. Like that's where I first met Anna from CAM. Was in Colorado.
Oh, that's awesome.
So CAM was Colorado Alternative Medicine.
No way.
Funny how it plays in Cali too, right?
Yeah, I didn't even know.
But Anna was like, Anna's a boss, bro. She ran Broadway, which they used to call the Green Mile in Denver, right?
Nice.
She had the top shop. Like, and so my mentor was her grower.
I love that.
So it was cool to just be around and hard lessons, running through money,
Sure.
you know, losing passion for like, damn, this is way harder than I thought to get legal out here. And then realizing like, damn, so I'm just growing in Colorado and doing the same thing I was doing in Florida. And I'm not going to be able to get legal because they put a moratorium now on licenses, no out-of-state investments. And you're like, so you can't, no matter who you know that's out of Colorado. So we were even looking into, I brought my mentor into the mix and we're looking into like, if you owned a gas station and that money's generated that fast in state, can you use those funds? Because if we had an investor buy a gas station,
Sure, then you can take
now you have in-state funds.
Yep.
And it generates money quickly.
Yeah.
So you start to look at, and we just realized, man, this is such a hard run. My mentor took a bunch of jobs and I was hard-headed at the time. I was like, a fucking job, bro? Like we came out here, I'm very hard-headed with some stuff and I'm like, we came out here for a purpose. Like I can't. So I moved back to Florida and that's where I met Pat Godds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's how him and I met. Was I moved back to Florida and I was like, all right, I'm gonna regroup. And so I moved back right into a grow house in Florida and literally pull into a grow house in Florida. And my buddy, who's an attorney, non-practicing, but he's in the parking lot like,
welcome home.
And so, yeah.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, man, get to cranking in Florida. And that's where I meet Pat Godds and him and I start our friendship, you know, at that 15 years.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Yeah, yeah.
And was it just a random like grow that you met him there? Like, was it a
No, he
friend of a
actually
friend?
had a grow that needed some help. And he had linked up with some guys that were old school dudes who were running old school recipes, let's call it. And just had a passion for the money, but less passion for the cannabis plant.
Okay.
I had the passion for the cannabis plant and less money. There's an exchange that happens sometimes,
There
right?
it
Isn't that
is.
funny,
That's all it
right?
needs.
There's always more money in the selling it. But no, him and I had met through my mutual friends that now I had been friends with a decade, you know, and guys that I had grow houses with prior and guys that I had grow houses with at the time. And so, yeah, him and I spawned this like relationship where he was like a young, enthusiastic, hungry hustler. And I'm coming back from being burnt out in Colorado. And he's like, dude, it was almost like, he would ask me things like, hey, bro, what are the worst parts about your job? And I'd be like, fucking, bro, trimming is rough because as you're trimming, I need to do that res. I need to fix this. So now you have to either stop trimming, go like, so he was very good at saying like, okay, well, we're going to make people like, we got that then. And they're going to work and they're going to do it the way you want them to do it. He's just a master, dude. He was a master at that. He still is a master at that type of stuff of like, you need 100 people here? Okay, I got this.
You made it happen.
Oh, bro, 100 people show up and they're like, what do you need? Like, oh, shit. So he needed a cultivation that needed some help. And I was able to come in and I think the first harvest, maybe they hit 9 or 10 pounds. The second one we did 18 and it was AAA. Woo. And so and so at the time though, he brought Sour Diesel to my life. So his crew allegedly had Sour Diesel and they had 2 different forms of Sour Diesel and they didn't even know that. And we were like, dude, there's one that's just unbelievable. And then this one that looks a lot like it, but it's not the same. And so me being who I am in the cultivation space, like knowing like separate these, do after one or two runs, like, okay, this is 2 different, this isn't the same cut and it's just hurt room or something happened here. This is separate them. And I was able to constantly learn off of him when it comes to branding. When we started a clothing company, he had all these aspirations always to like do more. Like, yo, we want to do branding and marketing. We're going to fly to California and go to this class that we applied for to meet Nikki Diamonds and the guy behind Johnny Cupcakes and Fear of God, Jerry Lorenzo, all these designers. Because if you want to learn this, you got to get around the best guys that have success and have the best. So he was very much like, put yourself in place. We're going to go do this. And at that time, bro, I'm like, we're going to fly to California for 3 days and do what, you know? And so we're a great team. And so, yeah, that's where that started. But this whole time from 2002, I've never not had to grow. Like, so all the stuff we're talking about, I got grow, like we're going. This thing's always going.
Yep.
Like people always forget like, oh yeah, that's what he was doing. It's like, no, grow ops. And then this. Yeah. And then being like, oh, you want to do clothing? I'm down to learn branding. Hey, we'll put these on timers and we'll get this guy to work here. And you know, and so it was always growing for me. It was never, I have passion for other things.
Okay.
I'm a creative, but cannabis. And then, oh, dude, you want to teach me about marketing and branding and digital graphic design and stuff? Dude, I love that. And you know, like you could fall in love with other things.
Yeah, of course.
For sure.
You can, and it's not to say one trumps the other. It's just like, dude, I have a couple passions now. And so, yeah, that he kind of opened that door for me. A constant theme throughout my life, bro, Eric, and my run is like learning from guys around me who are stronger in other avenues.
Right.
And then trying my best, I'm a human, to apply that to my life. So like Cody, I learned a lot from my friend, we'll call him 3-piece suit. I learned a lot from KP, my mentor, learned a ton from Sponge.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this guy's good with money and he put together, like the thing people don't realize about Pack Gods is like, he's highly successful. Like he doesn't, it's not a, like when I met him, he's always been highly successful at whatever he's moving towards. So it's always been like, damn, bro, wow, what the fuck? And so, yeah, this journey always expanded, bro. Went to Colorado, came back, met Pack. At that time, we're a year into a friendship and you're telling me move to California, bro.
It was his idea.
Oh yeah. But I'm like, I've been through the ringer, bro. And like, you're telling me, here's the dream, bro, though it's over here.
Like I already heard about that,
already
Colorado.
came back, and I'm just worn out. I'm like, bro, I'm moving to Miami. Like I like Spanish girls. Like this is perfect. Like, no, for real though. And you're like, it lines up. And like, this is the convo I always had with myself was, if you dot your T's, if you dot your I's and cross your T's, where does it matter where you live as a cultivator? If you enjoy that part of your life, like risk is risk, life is life. So I at that time hadn't experienced freedom, feeling free about what I did in life. So all of it was under the guise of wherever, bro.
Yeah, who cares?
So you're telling me life's going to be better over there though? Because that's the only thing I'm really worried about. Because the other stuff is just like, yeah, no shit, dude. And I was dead set, I can say at the time. I knew some people, I'm friends. I had just gotten back from a fucking cold place where I love snowboarding, but it's just different minds. I mean, sun's going down at 3:30, 4 p.m. for 6 months. You know, it's a different vibe than when you grow up in Florida by the beach and you're... So I'm pretty dead set. We go to... I catch like in that whole time, that's when I catch the case and all that shit happens with the stems and all, where like it's pointing me like, hey, dude, you're fucking wrong, bro. Like you should probably dip, big dog.
Yeah.
You know, mind if I roll another joint?
You do anything.
Oh, man, roll as many, dude.
Please.
You're stressing me out talking about my life and shit and all
the stems.
Yeah. No, but, and
stems,
so
man.
We come out. And he was like, bro, come to California with me. Like, let's check it out. Let's do this. Bro, it just so happened that as he's showing me the light, we'll call it, right? Of like, this is the Mecca. And I knew this was the Mecca. I knew this was somewhere where I was just like untrusting and a little bit burnt on like, I'm about to trek back.
Protective. I mean, defensive
sense.
For sure.
Well, and all my family's in Florida. So
you just went back home.
So you're telling me now we need to dip again? And like, I'm just now getting back up, right? Like,
yeah.
And so we came out here though. And at the time, two things lined up. I had a friend out here who was the head cultivator for Paris OG brand.
Oh, nice.
And he's someone that I know from Florida.
Yeah, that's lit.
Yeah.
Nice.
And when I went to Colorado, he just came out here instead.
Ah.
So it worked out that like, I have somebody that I know who's in the same space that's out here already. And flip side, We go to Secret Sesh, we see that shit going on, and we just realize like, bro, we can come out here. And this is how, you know, you can call it God or divine intervention or whatever. I start to tell people around me, yo, we're moving to California. We're headed out, bro. Got people close to me.
Yeah.
And one of my fraternity brothers, only one, like I don't keep in contact that close with a bunch of them, but one of them was like, dude, my dad's got a grow op in South Central that he wants to get out. Like he wants out. And he like, you should go talk to him. And I'm like, what? And so sure enough, dude, we start to, and this is Prop 215 days, obviously. This is 2013,
Best day.
14, I think 2014.
Yep.
Nice.
And so, yeah, dude, we end up negotiating and purchasing this grow op in South Central, not knowing the amount of shit we're about to go through.
That's okay. You were in.
Well, we're already moving out.
We're
here,
in.
and you're telling me that we can make a play where we do a payment, and I can cultivate and pay this off in payment plans. We were about to go old school and just work our way back up. Like,
Get a house.
Game on.
Sleep in the kitchen, man. Like, let's
So
go.
got to take on another good lessons as a cultivator about California's a lot like Florida. Welcome to South Central LA, big dog.
Yeah, I was like, were you familiar with the
No.
area at all?
Well, people don't say South Central, they say downtown LA.
Yeah, I was about to say, they hit you with some of that shit.
So you say, yo, you're telling me you have a grow in downtown LA?
You're like,
you're in
dude.
Florida? Yeah.
You're like, why is the street getting so high? Where am I?
Oh no, more it was just at night. During the day, I'm like, yeah, this is life, and like, oh, okay, this is
Sure.
there's no joke out here.
Some
Like,
break-in issues though.
but then, but then like as soon as it gets nighttime, you're like, oh, it gets dangerous out here. This ain't no playground. Like this is like being in the bad parts of Florida and other places where I've been, where you're like, okay, like,
head on a swivel. Man.
yeah, man, there's no hanging the fuck out. There's no
Yeah.
just smoking and parking in a parking lot. Like there's purpose behind your moves. And so, yeah, good lessons. And also good lessons, bro, about partnerships. And we learned a great lesson on obviously this is specific, but I guess it would apply to almost any business, is like, once you get on a payment plan with somebody, especially in cannabis, and you're in this gray market area, they have a stranglehold on you to where like this person has this address. They are passing this grow to you. Let's say you give them a chunk of money. They have demands now that they can make, or they'll pull the rug from you.
Mm-hmm.
And now let's say that lease still has a year and a half left on it. Man, shout out Pack Gods for that, because he really stepped up and alleviated that dude from becoming a huge problem as far as just like dealing with him. But like, we just realized very quickly, the right person or the wrong person, let's say, man, your whole life, someone can pull your chain and you got to jump.
Yeah.
Because now you have all this money, time, everything. This brand is invested in this project.
You better jump quickly.
And that person's saying, oh, today I woke up, I want this. I want something. I feel like this.
Price has changed.
Oh, just anything. I mean, dude, I have a demand for something. If not, I'm going to throw a fit. And you're like, oh, a fit with our warehouse?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, man, just good lessons, bro. And that's sponge it up, bro. Sponge it up. And just trying to be a better person and also not lose yourself.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, dude, that's where Blackleaf was birthed, was in South Central LA. As far as like, some people will say like, I've always been Blackleaf, but as far as a brand, when Cody and I first came together, like that's where I was like, hey, I'm going to call it this. We're going to call it this.
Yeah.
That was my next question, actually.
Yeah.
Where did that originate?
I made a list of 100. This is before ChatGPT for everyone listening.
The old school
It's
way.
easy now. It's easy. You guys got the cheat code in this motherfucker. I made a list of like 100 names. No, for real.
Nice,
Right?
nice.
That's
I'm a brand and
Of
I
like
do this and I need some names. And,
Of like different strain names or like just
no,
random?
just more like, who am I? Who are we?
Mm-hmm.
We're in the shadows. We're not the cool kids who make it on stage. We're the guys behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That's how I always felt like and something always rung true to me is like, I was growing a strain called DJ Shorts Flow at the time that comes out very dark, but I always gravitated towards like, man, give me a strain. Let me turn that baby purple, or like, let me bring out some color. And I just felt like I can turn this thing up octane wise to pretty high levels, and not in some manipulation negative way, in a like, I can bring out the full expression of this.
Yep.
So a lot of times people would get packs from me and they'd be like, bro, this shit's like black. And at the time, obviously DJ Short's flow, like that's a super dark. So that, and I just kept going back to black leaves. And I'm growing Dirty Sprite at the time in South Central. Like we're growing all these strains. We're growing Enchanted Cookies that are just beautiful expressions of purple. You know, people will be like, ooh, purple punch.
Hey.
But we're just growing all these strains are coming through. Urkel, Grape Ape, Sunset Sherbert. Think about the colors on all those though.
Gorgeous.
So it was like, yo, I am Black Leaf. And in the way of like black leaves on plants, but also in the way of like the shadows.
Nice.
Like we come from the underground. Like that's literally.
No, you put some real thought and effort into the name though. It wasn't just like, hey, I'm Blackleaf. It was like, nah, dude.
I don't do that, bro. If anything, I've learned to not overthink things. I used to go into meetings for 2 days. I would have thought about like this and like, what are we going to talk about? Don't say this. Don't say that. Make sure. But some stuff you can't overthink. You got to just know that like, I got this. Let me think on it. Yep. Sure. This is how I'm okay. Sure. And so no, pre-planning and just doing that. And dude, whole time cultivation, growing. All, you know what I'm saying? Like through all this, like it's always been for me, number one is like, I love plants. Like even when I'm not currently blooming, I still have genetics.
Right.
Oh,
got you. Nice.
See what I'm saying? So people get that confused and they'll be like, oh, well, you know, everyone's line in the sand of what they think you need to be or what you need to prove to them is different. You know that being on media. And no, dude, I've paid thousands of dollars electric bills for years just holding moms and genetics aside that I never have run. Like some stuff I've literally held on to and been like, I haven't run that yet. I've had it for 5 years. Wow. But I know it's the right cut. I don't have space. So it's always been this battle of like the money guys and then the growers. And it's hard to find the money guy that will let you cultivate over a long period of time and know the vision is long-term. The money is long-term. This is not an easy. And so as you get older, you just start to realize like, it's not worth it unless you just do it yourself or you have someone that knows that you are 100% sure has that vision, not 99, 100. And it's tough. And that's a tough thing to say for anyone because people change over time. So you might have someone now that's like, I'm in for the long haul. And 3 years later, they're like, I want out.
They're like, I need out. Not even want. They're like, I need out.
Yeah. Well, and I'm selling our percentage off or whatever. And now I've seen my mentor go through enough. He is the cleanest whistle, meaning like this guy will give you, he's the guy there at 5 a.m. fucking doing his own electrical. And you're like, oh, we don't have to pay an electrician. He's like, nah, I'll do it all myself. To so many bad partnerships where he gets jaded. Like a lot of old growers in the industry, when you talk to them, they get very jaded about the industry. So they'll talk about it like, I'm not doing nothing for free and I'm not meeting that guy unless it's money or I'm not. And it comes from just getting taken advantage of so much that the trust level and the ambition and the passion is behind a lot of brick wall.
Yeah, because it's still there. Like the underlying passion is never going to go away.
No.
But it's being like you
suppressed.
Said, very much so, and almost rightfully so. Because why let someone in that's doesn't have the same passion,
or why even
wants
give
to
someone
extract just money,
your
from
energy,
your energy?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a lot.
It's even worse.
You find that with a lot of creatives. I'm sure you guys find like with the guys that come on this show is like, you know, keeping your energy and keeping your like safe space of energy is so key, man.
Yeah.
I feel like that part's often overlooked with a lot of people because they don't even think about that.
Dude, my whole life and day changes when I'm either partnered with the wrong people or I have the wrong people around me. That like I go from waking up and being like, I'm alive today. I have friends that aren't. Sometimes I want to text one of my buddies. And it's the first time in my life, now you get into the 40s where you realize some of my friends have passed away where I want to be like, dude, this strain, bro. Oh yeah. He passed he got killed or whatever. And so, yeah, man, I just like be happy, bro. And so some people though, they can take that from you. And it's very easy when you put yourself in a position where someone can take that from you. And partnerships are almost just that. To where like through the years, it's a hard lesson to learn is just like, how do you keep your peace and your sanctity, but also be a good partner?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost it's the same thing in a personal relationship. Then I guess like it's in any relationship, business, personal, it's the same thing. It's can you separate the two? You know, can you keep your own sanity? It's a difficult task.
Tough.
A lot of people fail that one.
Yeah, and there's no like blueprint on how to do it because they're always different. You know, there's no like you got to do this and then it'll be good. You know, like
that would be awesome,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, how much would you pay for the blueprint? Like, bro, any number,
Yeah.
any number.
bro,
But that's impossible. There's too many variables, right?
That's what you're like. This band, bro, they're made millions. Why couldn't they just stay together? And you're like, dude, because for millions they couldn't. It
They're
wasn't
human.
Why hasn't Led Zeppelin? You know, you just ask all these questions. Yeah, exactly. So just good lessons, man. Like sponging shit up, learning from people around me, learning from my mentor, learning from Pack Gods, learning from 3-Piece Suit, learning from. That's honestly gotten to the point where it was just and Pack used to ask me, like, let's transition into the show. Pack used to ask me because we'd be having harvest, fresh herb, fresh flower, sticky, you know, and he'd be like, bro, what is it about fresh weed? You know, and he would always start to ask these questions. What is it about the first smoke of the day, bro? It's our best combos.
There it is.
Like something about that first smoke. Our conversation is like, let's take over the world, bro. We got, and not in a negative way, in a like passionate, like you're gonna do this today. I got this strain going.
Hell yeah.
Break, you know, and you break for the day and then you come back together. But at the end of the day and your energy level, but everything just something about that first smoke of the day. So he would always say that. Even at the time, Pack had a Sprinter van. And on the windows, it was etched like first smoke of the day. We didn't even have a pot or nothing.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So like,
The lore.
welcome to business and growing and stuff. Like our relationship, just like anybody's, you know, it's always been strong, but it goes through periods of like, yo, it's a lot to deal with right now, what we got going on. So when the grow was like going through a lot, we had not separated, but we had like, I focused on growing and he was doing his thing, right? And so then in that mix, right before that, he was like, hey, dude, we should film. We should have this guy. I'm going to have this guy come. He was always, bro, he's such a visionary when it comes to so much stuff. But he was like, hey, I'm going to have this guy come record us. And we had a pool table that said Blackleaf on it at the time. Right? And we're sitting on the pool table. We're sitting, like looking back, like, thank God this never got put out. Like, it was just some like, the vision was not there yet. And yeah, dude, we sat down and we told our life story where like he told an hour or so, I told an hour of my life and how our lives came together and then where we're at now. And I'm like, yo, what's up with that? And he's like, dude, we can never put this. This is like us telling on ourselves. And then he's like, so let's redo it. I'm like, okay. So we redo it and circle back, let's say 2 months later. And I'm like, whatever happened to that thing? And he was like, yeah, we're not ever putting that out. And so, you know, maybe let's say 2 years later, no lie. Like at the time too, when we moved out here, we always lived together, had businesses together, all that. At this time now, we've been out here a few years. I'm living at this place and, you know, it's on the east side. He's living over here. He's like, hey, dude, we had run into each other a few more times and we're starting to talk more again, you know? And when you're a friend, bro, when you have the same passions too on like it never ends. It's like, and so just like anything, like you go through periods of like, we're hanging out every day, then we're hanging out once a week, then we're back to every day. And so he was like, dude, I want to start a podcast. And I was like, bro, that's so crazy you say that. I literally have podcast equipment I bought that's sitting here that I was like, when I move, I'm going to build a room out. And I'm into crystals and shit. And I was going to go super heavy. Like I'm going to have crystals and light shining on them. And like, it's going to be a vibe, dude. And we're going to do audio. You're not even thinking video. And he's like, dude, why don't we do something together? And like, I got this Airbnb next weekend. Like you should come and we'll just like record some shit. We don't got to put it. And so it was just like, it's always been that, bro, of like, me being him or I being like da 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 da, and then he's like, well, how about that? And then I'm like, well, let's do this. And then it's like, and next thing you know, though, it's like game time, break, and then we go.
I love that.
And so like good partnerships, bro. And so yeah, dude, our first episode, we're sitting in an Airbnb. I go over to him. I think his sister or something was it, and one of the homies who was delivering ashtrays for us, Boro Blaster, is episode 1 because he was delivering ashtrays to us in Hollywood. We're like, yo, sit down, bro. You're episode 1.
I love that.
Nice.
And so if you look back, but then it was, let's just call our friends. So Wizard Trees, I think, is episode 2. Then it was Stacks from Tenko, is like episode 3. Then Trilogy, Bobby Trill.
That's right.
And we just went through all of our friends, Puro Co. It was like
amazing brands. Just bang,
Yeah,
bang, bang,
yeah.
How
bang,
crazy.
bang,
But
yeah.
they were our friends, though.
Yeah,
That's
just
what
the
people-
homies.
They're like, how'd you get this? It's like, bro, it was because I was hanging out with the guy
I
all day.
just
and I was
texted him.
looking back, too, you're like, dude, how did you trust us? Like, we're in this little room and we're no episodes in, or 2 episodes in. No one's listening to this fucking
Yeah.
thing.
Well, that's the friendship thing too. Like they were just
Yeah.
trying to,
Yeah,
hang out and
let's
kick it.
hang out.
Like
We're
even if
gonna
it
hang out
got
anyways.
5 views or 50,000.
Hey, bro,
like, they were
bring the
just-
new shit. Let's
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try it.
But looking back, though, like, I go to like, could I get convinced if someone's saying like, we have 0 episodes or like
Sit down
2,
for a little bit.
come sit down, dude, and we're gonna do this thing, and we're in like a damn near like grow warehouse
You're like, what?
with no grow. It had been emptied out, so it's like an office in a big warehouse. Like if there was a warehouse attached to this, And yeah, dude, and we just start to rock episodes, bro. And it all started from just like fresh weed. And Cody, Pack always asking me like, man, what is it with? He was very good too with employees and always telling them, ask this guy a bunch of questions. And then he would tell me on the flip side, bro, you're going to learn about why you do things. Some things you do because this is the way you feel about the plant, or this is what you're seeing. And they're going to ask you why. And you're going to have to now, like you having to explain it or teach it
Someone's going to reinforce
adds
it
a
more for
level
you.
too
Yep.
of you having to understand it a little deeper.
Yep. Because otherwise, you're just doing it in your head. You're just doing it.
I've
Right?
done it like this 100 times.
It's like you're breathing. You don't think about fucking breathing. You just do it.
Mm.
But now you have to
Exactly.
actually explain the fucking formula.
Well, and sometimes you're like, damn, is that the best way?
yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. You have to rethink it. Right.
Yeah.
Double
And
check it.
Very good. And that's why that's good partnerships, right? Is that you complement each other,
Yeah.
just like you guys.
Mhm, mhm.
And so that just builds. And, I mean, dude, we were moving guys out. Our first crews out here in Cali were all Florida guys in grows and shit.
Nice,
Like, yo, yeah,
nice.
good. Because if it doesn't work out, they're going back.
Yeah.
But now you don't have to worry about them robbing the spot
No,
or
you don't
being
know.
a problem.
No.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dude.
Last thing you need is an unhappy employee in
Yeah.
a grow
A
operation.
vendetta,
Like,
let
hey,
alone a happy employee, someone who,
That's what I want.
dude,
Like,
or what?
awesome.
And what it always happens, like someone that stole from you now
Uh-huh.
wants to be the problem, and you're like, dude, this guy already got us. Like what? But
It wasn't enough. Never is.
Jeez.
yes, yeah. And so first smoke of the day, man, and we just start cranking, bro, and like,
Nice. Yeah, that was what, 3 years? Y'all started in
3.
2021?
yeah, 3 years
So
ago.
4
now.
years almost now.
This year will be 3. So
Oh, that's
February. So this year. So last month is 3 years.
working on 4 right now.
Yeah, exactly.
The year 4. Let's go.
Yeah, man. But like, always growing.
yeah.
Like, and that's what people, I think sometimes you have to, I hate to be like, I got to prove myself. Cause you know how that's like where people want a little bit test you and be like, oh, the fucking guy from First Smoke or the dudes from Pine Park. And it's like, no, but there's also a reason that you're in that position. It's not just out of coincidence that you like walked into a door one day and you're like, I'll sit down here and fucking, and like your friendships and your relationships lead to your outcome.
Yeah.
Like that's my life, dude. The people I'm around, the passion they have, what they expose me to is like, I find new passion and new things. Like I just, you can probably both vouch for this, Eric and Tim, is that this is a blessing to be able to sit with people and learn and sponge it up, because you probably find yourself being a more rounded human being at the end of it, and having knowledge. Like when you sit down for meetings in the future, when you sit down for projects, your thought process on how to accomplish something is so realistic. And some people are going to say like, oh man, what a naysayer. And it's like, no, I just, now what it really takes.
Definitely.
Mhm.
You've been
For
through
sure.
it,
Yes.
And I think something that you said, a half dozen times is the word sponged
Mhm.
up,
Oh, dude.
and that's something that I think should be expressed more, because a lot of people, while they think they're listening, or maybe they are trying to listen, they're not retaining stuff. They're not gaining value from
Mhm.
listening to other individuals. And you do need to soak up that knowledge and learn something from the conversations you're having. And it does take some effort to do that, though. Like
Yeah.
soaking it up and getting something from the conversations is not as easy as just like hearing somebody or
Yeah,
listening.
for sure.
Like it's two different things. One takes a lot more effort, and I don't think a lot of people are willing to put that effort in.
Active listening.
Yeah.
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 You
Well,
know?
you got to be, and this is where I think you guys maybe will have some crossover as well, is that people want to say like, he has nothing to offer me, so I'm not going to listen to this one. Or like,
Sure.
this guy's a grower, this guy's a hash maker, or this guy's just a hustler, or this guy just makes packaging, or dude, he makes grinders. What the fuck do we have in common? Or what could I learn from him? And I'm like, dude, you you looked so far past the lesson already.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. And I'm not even saying that from a place of like, you need to listen to everyone. It's that I've been around people in the rooms in my personal life that are nothing like me that I learned so much from.
That part.
And so now to be able to sit down with a Boo Johnson or with, on and on, bro, like Stevie Williams, Nicky Diamonds, and those are outs, OVO 40. Rick Ross, the rapper. Oh, you don't want to? Okay, you want Rick Ross, the hustler? That one too. You know what I'm saying? I listen. And so like to be able to sit down with these guys that if you have to flash back to yourself too and tell yourself, dude, 15, 20 years ago, if you'd have told me all these growers that you look up to, like celebrities, like baseball players, or like how kids would look up to like Derek Jeter, A-Rod, that's third gen.
Yep.
That's motherfucking LA Family Farms. That's fucking. Bro, you hearing about Kenji? I thought Kenji was going to be Mr. Miyagi when I met him. I kept hearing this dude, Kenji, bro, who grows the best OG. He's the guy. And I'm thinking Kenji. I'm like, I'm thinking like Asian symbols and shit.
In the fucking world, dude.
And I'm like, this is Mr. Miyagi. I'm about to meet Mr. Miyagi, And it's funny because he's like the Spanish Mr. Miyagi, right? But like, no, but he's like, it's just like to look up to these guys because you're so passionate about an industry you're in. Those are your celebrities. So then to be able to sit down, if it's music, like, yeah, bro, I love those too. I love Styles P. I just reposted. Fucking, bro, you get to sit down with OVO 40 and Styles P and realize, dude, these dudes are like weed nerds. These dudes like really like weed, and not in some like custy way, in some real like, oh, dude, I really like the way Blue Zushi breaks down, because like the same reasons you're looking at it from your 20 years of experience, they're like, oh, dude. And then I'm watching OVO 40 engineer a joint. And he's telling me how he breaks down, like how he rolls a joint. And when I'm listening to him say that, I'm like, dude, he's engineering this joint, just like you would a song. Like, oh, I do this, but I like to cut the paper a little like this, and I adjust it ever so slightly. And he's explaining
how his mind's working.
I was like, oh, dude, this motherfucker's engineering a hit record. But that's the blessing about podcasting, but then let me take it one step deeper. The hard part is paying for all this. Because it's one thing to say, like, I want to do a podcast and I want to have fun and record some shit. It's a whole other thing to say, I really want to turn this into something special where we can turn the world onto something possibly and have guests on, and then maybe even do this for a living.
That part.
People don't get that. And it's not even cocky. It goes to like when everyone wants to start a pod, or everyone wants to start a pod in the weed space, or everyone wants to, like, dude, Cody, Pac used to say this, like, when you get where I'm at, you'll be where I was.
Facts.
But it's only about that, is that like, you got to have no quit in you. And if he doesn't get any views, doesn't fucking matter. Keep it going.
Yep.
Oh, it's a Sunday and you don't want to record? Too bad. This guy's available and it's short notice and it's in a 4-hour period and he doesn't want to be on camera, so he wants to be blurred out and this and that. Okay, cool. Figure it out.
Yep.
Hey, man, can you record on a Sunday and this big guest? He's only in town for today. Okay. Oh, hey, man, fly to Miami, interview Rick Ross, and
that's what it takes.
Pray that you don't have problems.
That's what it takes.
Yeah.
But if you're not
just figure it out later
to do those things, and you just want to sit at your desk and hope and pray that it works, it's just you're gonna get what you work for, right?
Consistency, though, that's the hardest part, though, and that's something like where I say when I'll always reference people throughout my life, the lessons they taught me, and that's something where Pac used to say is like, showing up is half the battle.
Shit, it might be more, man.
Yeah, there you go.
It might be more, low key. Most people won't show up.
But show up for your passion. That's why it's like, okay, well then don't do something you're not passionate about. Do something you're passionate about so that you do show up for it.
You think a lot of people get trapped into doing stuff they don't want to do?
I think people don't know what they want. I think the number one thing, dude, something my mom used to say to me, and it's funny to say this, but it rings so true, is like, she used to say, honey, we're from the South. She said, honey, half the battle is knowing what you like in life. Like half the battle is knowing what you want, like what you enjoy.
Okay.
What makes you happy, used to say. Half the battle is knowing what makes you happy, and the other half is now getting it. Like putting yourself in a position where you have that. Whether it's like, I want to be married with family and I want to have kids. Okay, well, you have to actively put yourself in that position, but just knowing that, that's half the battle. And I don't think a lot of people get to that. I think And it's so sad because I got lucky. Some of us have been so lucky to find the cannabis industry or even your niche in cannabis and then be like, no, dude, I think this is my life's work. And not to say you can't do anything else, but this is like, I'm truly all in. If this is midnight and I got to wake up at 4 a.m. again and start packaging, like that's just part of the life.
Yep.
And you got to do that now it was a 5-year dream in the US or a 10-year dream. It's not anymore. It's 15, 20. So whatever you thought, like, here's my 5-year game plan. Now that sounds good. With the economy, with everything, with presidencies, it's a 10-year game plan or it's an 8-year game plan. Yeah, man, I just think like that's probably the part.
I would agree.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think is the biggest change? You've been in the cannabis industry for so long, from like 20 years ago until today. Like, what is the biggest difference between now and then, would you say, from when you first started?
I sound like an old dude up here, right?
I mean, 20 years.
Hey,
That's pretty.
That's how I be
before
feeling.
legalization.
I only
Before
feel that around now.
legalization.
That's every episode where I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
This is why you keep these young guys around. Keep attached to this shit. No. The biggest changes. All right, let me give you a negative and a positive.
Yeah.
The biggest changes, negative wise, we got away from the medical benefit and explaining to people that like this isn't just a hobby. Like there's some real shit going behind it. Like this changes people's lives. Like a lot of us have seen firsthand what RSO can do and what some of these what this medicine can do for the right people. And I'm not saying that, there's this weird misconception or this is a weird place, this part where it says like, does everyone use it for medical? Because even if it's for your mental, it's medical. Okay. Yeah. But then there are people who truly need this for full medical benefits.
For sure.
We got all the way away from that. We don't see that at any dispensaries really. And the few that do carry it, they're like, we carry RSO. It doesn't sell. We got away from testing strains for medicinal properties of terpenes. Like, I just think we need to put, like, I thought we were going in the right place with like universities starting to research cannabis and this, like, yes, more of that.
Right.
And it just feels like only the bro science or a few people have been able to continue that breakthrough, but we're not getting like the full, and maybe it's because of federal legalization and all that, which I think is going to be more of what we've already seen, which is so sad that it's like every time we think we're going to get a breath of fresh air in the industry and we're going to get more opportunity or some type of breakthrough, it comes with hard lessons and taxes and fucking restrictions. So it's like we get this breath of fresh air and then it constricts even further. Then we're going to get interstate commerce and then the prices are going to drop even harder and it's going to get taxed even more. And so you're going to get that the exhale. Then you're going to get federal legalization. So now not just interstate commerce from California to Oregon to Washington and they won't even they'll make you border states probably. But now we'll get federal. We're going to get a breath of fresh air because now we're going to be able to ship and then prices are going to go even lower. You know what I'm saying? So it's this tough thing of like, that's the negative side is that we've lost the medical and this expansion rate. I don't see an end to like, oh, it's only going to get to a better place. It's changing and I'm in it. I'm what they call a lifer, right? Like if I was to win the lottery tomorrow, $100 million, all I'm doing is reconsidering, okay, now what do I want to do in this space?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not exiting.
But you're probably still growing some plants, huh?
Oh,
always.
no.
This whole podcast. Always growing, baby.
People don't realize that.
Just growing more.
Yeah.
It's growing more.
Or at that point, you can pay really good salaries. I mean, salary doesn't even have to be something that you make profit on. You can almost look long-term, and if anyone can, it could be us, is that what happens when you put a bunch of the right creatives in the right house together? And I mean house meaning like creative space. And create a brand under that. And then you source a couple of the best growers from around the world. We're not just looking at California, that we're looking at, I'm open to anybody. Maybe you bring a guy that does scale to a small, but like all it is about putting the right people in the right place together. So that you would look at, I personally would look at it more like that. And I'm like, okay, that, and then also like, how do we not let people in this industry go through this bullshit where investors come in, take advantage of the brands, cycle them through, burn them out, can't use that name anymore. This guy, he's so burnt out, he doesn't even want to be in the industry anymore. Oh, that guy, he was awesome. Yeah, what happened to them? I don't know. What happened to Critical Concentrates? What happened? And so you ask about a lot of these brands, and it's like, yeah, dude, what do we need? Business parks where you can have small creative spaces and there's a licenses attached. And like, what is it? What's the framework where we can get these small batch guys to continue being part of this industry? And we don't need them to know how to do business. We just need you to know how to do what you do. And we're not going to take 70% of everything you do ever and own the brand. And you got to be on the license. And then how much do I own a year? And then, oh, hey, by the way, dude, that's not washed under 3%. You can't do those anymore. And you're like, no, but that's my signature strain. Yeah, sounds good, bro. Why can't you just call that this now? Just change the name on that. It starts small. Yeah. And then it's this push of like, hey, man, we can't really let you grow that strain anymore. Hey, bro, you think you could change the branding to a little more pharmaceutical? Hey, bro, we should probably bring in this other grower because he gets 3 pounds of light. And you're like, hey, dude, does the nutrients? Maybe we should change this nutrient.
This is now 5 feet down the damn fucking road, man.
You're like,
I said
we're so far separated.
Yeah. I said just the tip. What happened?
So partnerships are tough, and that goes. Obviously like cultivators and creatives aren't the easiest to deal with either. So that's honestly like, I would say for Blackleaf and myself is just like, how do you work with people from all walks of life and be able to do it where you're somewhat protected? And most people are like, you can't. You got to work with people that you're 100% on the same page with. Okay. Then there's 5 people and 10 people, 10% of the world that you would want to work with.
If that. Which is still a lot of people. 10% of 8 billion is a lot.
I like your glasses half full over.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Even if it's 1%, I mean, that's a lot of people.
Right.
Like,
do you think
I like Tim's way to look at it.
Do you think a way to perhaps keep these smaller brands afloat, or the smaller guys in general, is maybe like open up direct to consumer? Like they don't have to go through these things. Like if you support this guy, you can just buy it straight from him.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to make licensing more affordable. They definitely got to be able to sell it.
Right.
Like that's 100%. They got to be able to go to events and farmers markets and stuff like that. They got to be able to do that.
We need some people.
I don't know if they want to be able to do that though. I think there's a lot of brands that don't want to be legal. I think they like the the underground vibe. I think that's like part of who they are. They don't want to be a rec brand. They want to be a black market brand, a gray market brand, a trap brand, whatever, a traditional brand, a legacy brand. And they don't want to go pick any maybe they see it as just a corporate play. Even if they do it themselves, they're like, I'm not participating in that over-regulation government bullshit.
Right.
I know people like that.
Remember exclusive melts?
Yeah, definitely.
When something I try to do is bring people with me or put people in place. And anybody that's real close to me, and you can vouch for this, is that like, I'll bring friends up in combos. I don't gatekeep. I try my best not to gatekeep. I try my best. Sometimes people have to be gatekeeped because they're fucking fence jumpers. They're habitual fence jumpers. And they love to, and then some people are problematic in relationships and they'll burn a relationship up and you're like, yeah, but it wasn't even between me and you. It's this fucking guy. But yeah, that's a tough one, bro. Because I brought them into a deal and yeah, they were the wrong investors. So like I could see being in the wrong room, you're like, fuck this. Like, and you get these talented people who decide like, it's not for me. And I just go like, no, we need those people. The industry needs those guys that, like, I guess the detachment is we need investors in this industry that don't just want money. And that's so tough to say because that's an investor. So
that's their whole, and I see it.
Tough.
I love playing devil's advocate. And it's like the investor, that's their fucking job. They want to make money. That's their whole point. They're investing to make money. They're not investing for fun. This isn't a philanthropy project.
Is that why we don't have lounges?
People, like, yeah, because they're not profitable. Like it's really hard to profit that. It's extremely hard to profit off of it. Unless you have the presence of a massive media company, like,
or unless you like make it lame and they have to buy that stuff there at the lounge, and it's like, then the vibe isn't, like.
The VC guys are always going to want to make money unless it's like a charity project. And it's like, this isn't
who's doing that? Even charities aren't doing charity.
No, exactly. Look up charities and do they donate like 20% of the money? If it's a good if it's a good charity, bro. So it's like the weed guys aren't coming into the weed industry, especially now.
Yeah.
The VC people that are coming in now damn sure ain't giving you any more
No.
play because they've seen everybody get slaughtered the last fucking 5-10 years. Slaughtered. VC money's just been getting burnt in like a cold friggin' train right now, dude. Like they're just burning money around here. No one's making money in the weed industry if you're in the rec market.
Yeah.
Like
It's like a race to the bottom, or who can outlast who. Or...
It's like the Uber model, you know, or like it's you bleed money and gain market share until who could bleed the longest and not die. It's a terrible strategy and like for everybody, but it's the strategy that people employ, and I don't understand it. I hate that strategy.
Crazy.
And every straight state comes online and they're like, let's do it like we've never heard of what legal cannabis looks like. Like literally, and they start to build their own ridiculous ass framework for taxation. And only a few states have got it right. Like,
what do you think's done it the best?
Michigan done not just. It's tough because everyone has strong suits,
Okay.
and then they fucked up a bunch of other shit around.
Gotcha.
It. But like, I like the part of Michigan where it's like, oh, you can unlimited buy. Someone wants to come in and buy a pound. Like, okay,
And what's the possession limit? So if I can buy a pound, do I automatically leave the store and I'm illegal now?
you can buy it in 2-ounce increments.
But what is
Interesting.
so?
I don't know that part.
You
though.
see what I'm saying? 'Cause I always, you know what law I always think is stupid? It's like, so, hey, you can grow 12 plants at home, but you can only have an ounce of weed. The fuck plants am I growing? The fuck am I doing?
They don't understand.
The math never
It
ever
don't
makes
math.
sense. Because like
Doesn't make any sense.
now it's illegal. As soon as I harvest this, I'm a criminal because
Bro.
I harvested a good harvest. Like it just doesn't. That's never made sense to me.
That's
There's
like
always
even the
little
plant
things.
count. There'll be like 12 flowering plants and 4 veg plants, and you're like, how do you have 4? Like what? And just even the plant counts
never
are
made
just
sense.
so.
Mhm.
And you know, I talked about this with Brandon from Third Gen a little bit
Okay.
recently, just about. He's talked about an alliance of like a committee of
Uh-huh.
cultivators and brands who actually really, and this is where it gets murky because everyone will be like, well, who picks who goes on the committee? You appoint all different heads, and some you're going to agree with and some you aren't. But these are guys that are experts in their niche in this,
Sure.
and they need to be hired out or they need to be consulted state to state. And either these people, this group, this committee is either doing it, and this is where it gets murky. Is like they have to make money. Most people aren't going to just do it for free and work on projects for months and
Fuck
months
no.
for each state.
Fuck no. They're
But
not.
how do you do this to where guys like Dave prefer gardens?
Mm.
Yes, dude, if you're writing the laws for a cultivation aspect in your state, he's someone that you should probably consult
Yeah.
about what in this is realistic and what's not.
Yeah.
And also, how do we find success? Because is the goal to have successful businesses that last long term, or just constant turnover in applications?
Yeah, because at the end goal, what the goal is state revenue, right? Like that's the end goal. At the end of the day, right? It's money. Like let's just keep it.
And
Point
keeping
blank,
people
sir.
happy, hopefully,
Mhm.
your state.
Mhm. Mhm.
They want the fucking money.
Yeah.
I know. But how are we gonna get them the most money? How are we gonna get them the most money? Is we're gonna do this the most efficient way possible. The businesses are gonna be successful. They're gonna have great products that consumers are gonna want at great prices. Taxes are gonna be flowing.
Will this attract the best guys?
Mm.
This layout, can we get the best people to move here because this is so freeing? Or
Hey, you should be wanting to make your state. That's a good point. Super attractive to bring in. Like companies should be wanting to go to your state to grow cannabis because it's
Mhm.
so friendly.
it's like what we
Mhm.
hear about Tesla, why they're leaving California.
Yeah,
It's
It's
Oh,
the
no,
same
Texas.
thing though. It's like, but why would cannabis be any different? They
Yeah.
look at it like we're going to be mining some new gem that we've never heard of beneath the earth crust, and we've never. It's like, no, dude, we've seen this roll out. We see what works and what doesn't, and even now we have a plan in California that's not working. Why wouldn't the state legislature? Well, we're in California. But why would the state legislature, and this is, I love Cali. I don't see myself moving anytime soon. I love it here, bro. I found my new home. I'm like, dude, this is Florida with weed. Fuck yes. But like, why wouldn't they readdress all this? Why wouldn't they? They know who the top people are. We know who the top. We know that they can see from the inside the brands that are really doing this right. Why not go back to the drawing board with them and be like, let's try to figure out how to make this better.
Because people have jobs with salaries that don't want to lose their jobs with salaries.
And just
So
giving
like
the
right now,
government.
there's people that are in position, right, that wrote these laws or that are regulating these laws, and they will fight tooth and nail to not let what you just said happen.
Sounds like Doge.
And that's probably what needs to happen. You
It
know,
does.
And you see
you
they're
might need to
trying to
start
give every
you might need to
citizen
go on Twitter and
5K.
start tagging
Me and
cannabis
Elon-
there might be
Elon, hold on,
mismanagement though,
bud.
because like that might actually be happening because are they really managing? Because they're getting a fuck ton of money from cannabis in California. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of revenue coming in. Is all that money being managed correctly?
No,
Hell
fuck
no. Hell no.
And also, like,
I don't think anybody's going to
who
answer
voted
yes.
on where it gets to go? Did we
I think that's what Prop 64. I think it says in there.
Does
like,
it?
Yeah, there's certain that was supposed to.
with 100 other things, this is
Yeah.
also what we
Yeah.
suggest you're going to do with your
Like,
money,
you
or
know,
our
so
money.
it's
or-
just it would be really awesome to see transparency on what cannabis has done for a state.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
I'm sure some states might do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have that knowledge off the top of my
They always
head.
release some numbers where it's like they made
Colorado
$1
does
billion,
that.
but like they never really say where it goes. You know,
$20 billion.
yeah, we did this much.
How many schools were made, or how many
Right.
roads? You know, like this road was fixed by cannabis money.
That
I'd
goes
like-
with any tax. Honestly, I want all my tax money to say. I
Bro,
want to see where it fucking
how
went.
much-
That'd be nice.
How
How
Yeah.
much
That'd be
stuff
really
are
nice.
people buying?
That'd be really nice. What do you mean?
You're buying packaging.
yeah.
When you celebrate,
Oh, the economy.
Tim, when you celebrate, where you going to dinner? You're going to buy, oh, dude, this new coffee shop, it's more money, but it's fire coffee. Yo, we're going there. Hey, anyone want coffee? You're buying for the team now.
Yep.
Hey, on Fridays, we do parties. We supply food for the whole crew. This is not just growers. This is retail. You start to be able to do stuff. So now all the economy around you, the ripple effect is just massive, bro.
Oh, huge. The dispensary opens up. The next door liquor store is booming now.
Yeah.
All the stores around it booming. All the food spots around it popping. Can't park anywhere. Yeah, because it's fucking popping.
Hey, we need another one of these. Oh, that empty building down the road? We'll take that too.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
So hey man, we need new cars for the fleet because we're doing deliveries now. 7 new vehicles. Hey man, ACs. We need ACs for like the ripple effect is so crazy.
Yep.
We used to joke the amount of grows we had having to go to Home Depot and just
Jesus
also
Christ.
seeing other people in aisles where you're like,
I've definitely looked at some people's car, even if I'm just there, like getting like, hey, like a toilet repair kit or some bullshit, and I'm like, oh, dude, you're building a fucking grow house.
Yeah,
you're
fucker.
growing
I
for
was
sure.
fucker. Ah.
you're like looking at people's carts. You're
Yeah,
like,
like, ah.
stop pocket watching.
I'm like, oh, you're building a nice little room here, bud.
Hey bro, you want those longer screws?
Trust it's worth extra money.
Just.
That's where you meet the build out guys. That's where the other guy's still over there rolling joints, waiting for him to come back so they can smoke and get to
Hey,
work.
he's looking at his packs of seeds, like, what the fuck am I gonna pop?
Literally, bro. Literally.
On a more positive note, what is something that's changed positively in the past 20 years that we are
Oh,
like,
good.
things are looking up? Maybe.
So I always compare the cannabis industry, bro, to like teams.
Mm.
I obviously being an American baseball team
Mhm.
is the easiest for me to parallel.
Mhm.
But like for the first time ever, your kid, because you have a son or a daughter,
I have a daughter. Yeah.
you have a daughter.
Nice.
For the first time ever, your kids can come up and say, I want to be a cannabis brand and I want to be the biggest cannabis brand. I want to be like how Budweiser is, or I want to be like how this microbrewery is, or this is my vision for where I want to go with this. And as a parent, and this is me not having kids, as a parent, you can be like 100% I back you. And your vision, and you're not going to have to go through all the bullshit that we knew what this industry was before. You're going to be able to take classes damn near in it. Oh, you want to go to
for
school?
sure.
You should do
Yeah.
plant biology and then
Right.
back it with this science. Or hey, there's a university and the program is, because this is the weird thing. They'll always put cannabis on there and it's like, you're better off doing plant sciences and then adopting it to cannabis, I feel like. in
It's
my
hands-on
opinion.
experience for sure.
And also, like when it's a cannabis, it's a lot of the classes up until now have just been bullshit.
Yeah.
Like if it's cannabis, I'd rather take an actual plant biology class. I think I'll learn more that actually applies to cannabis.
Definitely.
So I think that has changed so drastically. Like, and okay, you don't want to grow, you want to do extractions. Okay, you don't want to do extractions. You want to do branding and marketing, and you have an expertise in graphic design and 3D design,
Yep.
or like. How about this? You want to be a roller now. As of the last 2 years,
That's
you
a-
can
that's a
literally
whole new
have.
thing.
Can't believe it. That's
That was-
awesome.
I think that's incredible. That's Like the hash hole movement has made it
Some of the biggest names in the industry right now are rollers.
Right.
Awesome.
And you always see it's always funny because you see the tweet going viral from like one of like Wiz Khalifa or something. He's hiring a roller, but it's like you don't have to be hired by Wiz Khalifa to roll joints for a living. Like,
No, and not make 50 grand. Like, bro.
yeah, you can make a lot more than 50. Yeah.
But they put you on. You can put yourself on.
So
bro.
now I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
Tim is the build out grower, but he's the financial podcast version. Like, hey, I see that. No, but you're right though, bro. You're 100% right. And so for the first time ever, we get that. And where I parallel it is baseball teams. When you add an unbelievable pitcher,
Mhm.
and then you throw in a great start off hitter, and then your third baseman is strong. Next thing you know, you have, the LA Dodgers or the Yankees, or you have these top tier teams. And this, I'm sure this parallels soccer teams, this parallels any team sport.
Mhm.
This is your head extractor who's doing all your washing. This is your head grower. This is his backup team that he created for him. Hey, who's doing all your sales? That's the star salesperson. Yeah, you need that. That's your first baseman. If he ain't fucking making the play, there ain't no one to catch them. That's your money coming into the business. That's feeding this whole thing. Yeah, that guy has to catch the ball. So I see it getting to the point, though, to pertain to your question, is like, we're seeing these teams get built out. Hey, what happened to that one brand? Oh yeah, dude, their head grower left and their extractor fucking, or what happened to this cart brand, right? That used to be number one and shit. Oh, the guy who started it didn't get a good deal. He left. Like, we see that all the time, and we always question. Sometimes we can get answers because we're in the industry. Like, what happened to that one brand? It's always like this and this. Oh my God. I think we're seeing the vision now of like, you can grow up, want this as your passion, just like any other industry, and then also see the framework for, oh, this is a team effort. If I align with the right team, I can go work for Connected for 3 years, learn how to do cultivation. Then if I want, I can go for a year, learn graphic design. Like, the framework for what to do in the cannabis space is being laid out of like, it's going to evolve, but we're there now where you have the brand, you have the market, you have to have your hash, you have to be single sourced, or you have to be able to work with a cultivator, you have to have genetics. Like, all these boxes are being checked where we can see, you can come up now in school and be like, I know what I have to do, and here's my vision for it. And I'm going to go work for Blueprint or Blackleaf or LA Family Farms or Pound Cake Farms or Backpack Boys, or doesn't matter, Cookies, doesn't matter. You can do that and not worry about robberies as much, right? Not worry about, you can go to school damn near for it. So I think that's the most positive thing about it, is that all the shit we went through, that shit's done, dude. That shit's, and I'm not saying done, there's always a trickle effect. Nothing is black and white, everything's gray. But we're getting past that, where like, if my kid right now was in middle school and was like, Daddy, I want to do what you do. And obviously they grow out of that. Not everyone grows up and ends up wanting to be an astronaut, becomes an astronaut. And I'm not comparing that, it's that hard, but and so, but like, okay, well, you should, before, bro, you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're trying to get your
Like, you don't even know what daddy's doing.
Yeah.
Chill.
This is a cigarette.
Yeah.
And so, but for the first time, that's changing now, where it's like, oh yeah, okay. So you should take graphic design classes when you're young and get that under your belt, because you can do that early. Then you get a little older. Do you want to work in the garden or don't you? Because it's two different paths there. You have a tree. And it goes in all different directions. Some of them have the same land and they break off. Some of them are completely different. But it's all this tree of cannabis. And so I just think, what an amazing time to not have to have a gun in your face and risk all the backlash, the negative, your parents not approving, damn near disowning you, your family not wanting to be around you, you smelling like weed being actually a problem. Like,
Right.
just going to go grab some food somewhere, it's like, hey, you should change or wash up real good, and like, that shit's over. That shit's way over.
Yeah.
And this is being way more accepted than tobacco. So we're seeing this like slow change, and we're in an interesting place. And so I guess I can say the positive is like, what a fucking awesome time.
Yeah.
Where this trend only going to happen one time.
Mhm.
This is then it's free, and we're going to have federal legalization, and cannabis is just going to be open. This is only one time ever, and we're watching it.
Mm.
And we're living it.
We're living it.
Yeah, we're literally fuck. That's
Trying to
that's
push
even
towards
crazy
the other
as far as,
side.
like, we're not even just watching it, because that just in itself is pretty insane.
Yeah.
We're a part of it,
Mhm.
which is like whoa,
I'm talking to,
like,
pertaining to that, I'm talking to, I'll bring it up again, Brandon Third Gen, because these are just who I was.
yeah.
And I was saying, dude, like, you guys have a chapter. We were talking about Jigga, 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 who started cookies,
Yep.
the strain cookies, not the company.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I'm just, telling him like my passion for like what they do. I fucking love what you guys do for the cannabis. Like, bro, you have a chapter in cannabis. And when it says Skittles, you think of 3 people, in my opinion. There might be more, but from the outside, I think of Greener Fields, I think of Tony Mendo, and I think of Brandon from Third Gen. It's the same thing when you talk cookies. Hey, I think of Jigga. He has a chapter where when cookies, that will never go away. When people 100 years from now be like, oh, the cookie strain. That's what the internet, so it's in there for good now. It's not just like, remember that Northern Lights that we used to
Nah,
get?
it's locked in there.
Locked in. So now people are going to be like, oh, this guy created that. He's long gone. His wave is forever in the books. And this is the same with Sherbinski. Gelato 45, Gelato 41, Sunset Sherbet, Mochi, Pink Panties, acai. I'm a fan of these guys, so it's like being on the field, but at the end of the game, I want to change my jersey with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I fuck with you, bro. I like what you do.
That's what it's about.
So
Classic.
it's that, bro. It's and I love that. And
that.
I think from the outside, sometimes the industry feels like it's not that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I like the front lines being able to be like, no, bro, we're friends, dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, and if it is competition, it's friendly competition.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the 60K thing Proper Doinks just did.
Fire.
Like, that was fucking awesome for the industry, bro.
That was amazing.
Some mixed light W. That's a W for mixed light. That's a
Crazy.
W for growers.
My
That's
mentor,
awesome.
my mentor used to tell me that. He used to literally say to me, the future of this, because prices are going to drop so low and the competition is going to be so stiff for like, what can you get this to me at? And he said, people aren't going to understand the margins of real high quality versus that 1 tier or 2 below her.
Right.
That he's like, the mass shift will go to assisted greenhouse.
Right.
Meaning like you'll get the ones that have just, wet walls and all that, like what we're seeing now.
Yep.
The next evolution step of that is ACs, glass ceilings or some type
I've
of.
been in those. Those are
Yeah, the
freaking-
glass ceilings are
I've-
crazy. The ones that retract or
Dude,
you
it's
know.
almost just like you're like
fully assisted
the spaceship,
sunlight.
bro.
Yeah.
It's a spaceship.
But then now being able to be
Robots.
like 73 degrees in this room.
yeah, no, it's
this
it's,
humidity.
those-
and
Yes.
it's like
those exist
it's
right now,
crazy.
which
Yeah.
is nuts. Like, and that's the craziest. But that Preferred Garden Mix Z, that was just a wet wall greenhouse
Yeah.
with some lights in there.
It's winter and Dave's a master.
Sure.
Like, and I'm not
Sure.
taking anything what Dave's a
Sure, it is
master.
what-
Yeah.
That's why I brought him up
Incredible.
earlier when we weren't
Winter
even
was a
talking.
nightmare for me though.
He's
Fuck.
the guy though. And Dave Preferred Gardens, you're talking about, also has his heart in the right place.
Mhm.
No, he loves it.
There's a lot of great growers, bro, and I've met a lot of them. I point to these guys because I know like he's a great representation for our industry.
Fuck yeah.
Anybody, I can even not like them and be like, he's a great representation for their industry.
Mhm.
But like, that's not the case. Like, there are certain people that you're like, when we talk about like these industry guys, it's like, hey, you should put that. This is A-Rod, Derek Jeter, Frank Thomas, Ken Griffey Jr.
Goats.
And like everyone, they get old. Now we got the new guys.
Sure.
Mhm.
But it's also like, yo, you need to talk to those guys.
Mhm.
Like we saw the phase of MSO, what that meant, and everyone goes, oh. MSO. And now we're seeing grassroots MSOs.
Hmm.
Guys that are doing it the right way, who came from one greenhouse, one grow op, 3 lights, 2 lights, 1 light, scaled up, built teams out, aligned with other brands. Now the next step for them is that they don't need even to partner with a license. They're going to get their own license now.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
now no fucking investor and no one can pull that chain on them. And if their heart's in the right place, which it is because these are lifers, this is where the evolution gets fun, is that you got guys that are in this because they love the plant. They love everyone that's in this. They're in that same mind frame. And now they have the financial stability to be like, dude, I fuck with you. Come here. Come with me real quick. Hey, bro. I like what you do, bro. I want to put Blackleaf in these 3 states with us, and like,
Yep.
you should be part of our team. Hey, bro, you should play outfield center, bro. We need a good guy out there running. But we're seeing a little bit. Everything is slower than we want. Everything 3 years, you're like, it's gonna be 5. 5 years, gonna be 7. 7 years, gonna be. So everything's taken longer than we wanted. Look at legalization. You'd
Yeah.
asked us 10 years ago, you'd been like 5-10 years maybe. And now
Right.
you talk to people
2025
like-
for sure it'll be legal everywhere.
We're
Like,
just like, fuck, dude.
No,
it's
it's
2025.
My buddy said, think of it as presidencies. Don't think of it as years, and you'll get closer to where you think.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That made me
Few
even more
presidents
bleak.
away, and you're like, oh,
So you start to go 4 years,
Yeah,
4 years, so
yeah.
10 years. If it's 2 presidencies away and it's not going to happen now,
Mhm.
we're a decade again.
mm,
Interesting, right?
It is interesting
Crazy
for
world.
sure.
So we're going to get interstate commerce first, and it'll be a breath of fresh air. You're going to see greenhouses going up. You're going to see, and you got to produce these pounds for 150 or 200 bucks. Yo, we need these pounds for $100. Yo, and so you'll see this shift of like, it will be very difficult to grow indoor in California, Los Angeles, and pay insane prices.
Now
for
people will
rent.
have to pay the consumers will have to pay a premium for that, and they'll have to vote with their dollar essentially. Like, do they
Mhm.
want that?
I like that.
You know, like,
Mhm.
because if they're not going to pay for it, then the why would you produce?
I love that. Vote with your dollar.
That's the only thing they could do, right?
Bring OG back.
Literally, please.
Bring. But you hear this all the time. Bring gas back.
But you
Yo,
don't.
Then
but you
pay
don't
for it.
They don't pay for it.
Then go
bro,
pay.
They don't pay
there's
for it.
brands, bro. Yo, you should go fucking big up them and tell them, like, sorry, the mic. Big up them and tell them, though, I get passionate, that, like, yo, I fuck with you, and show them, though, yo, run more rooms of this, because I'm going to buy all that. Yo,
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Fucking
every
prepay
week.
that shit, dog.
The 8th I've been buying of this or that. Like, no, bro, I've been saying bring OG back. Okay, well, then smoke on some OG. A lot of people
Smoking
say
candy.
that, and then I guarantee if you popped open that jar, you'd be like,
Candy.
where's the OG you've been typing on the internet to go
Z.
bring back?
It's all Z and candy.
Or it's some other thing that, oh, this is this. And I love that vote with your dollar, though, bro, because you guys are probably the same. I mean, look at all the trilogy. I mean, insane.
Right to the trip.
When I fuck with a brand or a person behind a brand or the story and the strains and stuff, I'm all in. I'll buy it at the shop. I'll go when we have pop-up events like Olympics coming up and all that. Yeah, bro, I'm going to go around. I make sure I get 30 minutes of 45 to go to everyone's booth and be like, ooh, I'll take a gram of that. Oh yeah, let me get a quarter of that. Yo, is that? Oh yeah, I'll take some of this. And I buy up everything I can because I want to support the homies who I'm like, dude, they're working just as hard
Yep.
on the other side of the mountain.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the
100%.
most fun part about the industry. Is like y'all mentioned earlier, like the secret sessions and everything. Like that's the best part, is just seeing other faces, seeing the old homies they haven't seen in a while, or new homies who are doing it big. Like it's cool to see. Cool to see.
More of that. And also more of portraying that to let people know that, like, dude, because online, a lot of hate, no matter who you are. And that's just like, you go on Joe Rogan and people are like, this liberal, you know, like this right wing. But it's like, dude, everyone gets it. But then you see him in person and people are like, bro, you see, oh, Joe.
It's not real. It's just not real. Even though we are so intertwined with it every day.
Yeah.
It's just not real. Like,
Well, and just portray, yo, we were friends, dude.
yeah,
We
that's,
fuck with
that's
each
what
other.
it is, you know.
This
like,
is love.
100%. Like it we're gonna go eat some stick food after this. Like,
Yeah, but people would assume though that like we have a pod and you have a pod, like, oh, they're in competition, bro. And it's like, dude, at the most, it's a friendly thing of like, damn, do you see who they got? Yo, do you see this one? It's always like, I'll send it to them like, damn, bro, look at that. Or like, damn, this is interesting. And someone said Turtle Pie coming on and talking and talking.
dude, that was
Love
love
turtle
this.
pie. Love turtle
Shout out
pie.
Life Sauce.
Bro,
bro.
Yeah,
we-
for sure.
We've been through 2 of those. Dude. There's a,
I was gonna say he's probably, shout out Lifestyles. He's one of those guys there that you're talking about that's super technical about his grow, but like loves the plant as well.
I
Like
put him as a technical
he's locked into both.
immediately.
He's locked
But
into both.
He's honestly into the
He loves the
strain
plant.
stuff, too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
He
He,
has
he
good
loves
crossover.
both. Like he's one of those
but
rare
he
guys.
comes from that construction background too, so that technical really pulls on.
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah.
Those are the best. Those right now seem to turn out to be the best growers. Like if you're a head cultivator, if you're touching the plant, your job is to literally grow the weed. I think a construction background, because traditionally there was no other background that lended as well to that, but
Yeah.
it's construction, bro. If I was going to hire a head grower and he goes, yeah, bro, I've been doing construction for 3 years and I
Bang.
just don't like it. I'm like,
You're like, sounds like a good idea.
but that ain't the guy that I'm like, hey man, can you design our bags? And what would you call that
right,
strain? Hey bro,
right,
that
right.
pheno hunted strain that we group. And I also wouldn't also be like, hey bro, smoke this and tell me if this is a keeper.
No.
This is there. Not everyone is that other person. So I think also just watching this whole industry unfold and realizing like, dude, not everyone has to do everything.
That's something
Yeah.
that I've learned personally that
Yeah.
I used to try to do everything, and that just doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all.
You break down.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't have enough time to, and you can keep up for a while, but then you realize quickly, like, it starts to build like a wave and it's getting bigger. And you're like, when this crashes, it crashes way bigger now.
To suck.
And that's something.
You ain't got no team around to help you fucking swim. So now what? Now you have a fucking giant wave and no boat.
On my way here, bro, I'm texting. I don't even want to say like my assistant because she's so much more than that. But she's like, I call her our team lead.
Love it.
But
Nice.
I'm texting her, and she's in the Philippines. She starts her day at midnight or like 11 p.m.
Bet.
and works from midnight all the way to like 8 a.m. or whatever.
Bet.
3 years she's been with us.
Fuck yeah.
I'm texting her on the way here, like, hey, just so you know, like, I really appreciate you, and like, I'm gonna go do this pod with these guys, and just a heads up. So if I'm not in communication for 2 hours, you know what I'm up to, because sometimes I do stuff that I don't put on our calendar, and I like try to reiterate that all the time. That like, and bro, it's been the most unbelievable breakthrough is that I see the work getting better and better because I'm reinforcing like, hey, mistakes happen sometimes. Don't worry about it. I appreciate how hard you're working. And I have to tell myself, tell people that. Be open. Like, be open with like, hey, yo, thank you. And like, not just saying it, but like, hey, I really appreciate you. Like, I hope you know that, you know, and I think that's been like from 40 years old now to 42. That's been my biggest thing is like, I'm not going to get anywhere near I wanted to with my vision if I can't have the right people who also see the same vision. And also we're all in this together. Like we're a teamwork and like, yeah, dude, we're going to have bad days. And there are going to be big things that you fuck up that it's like, oh my God, bro. Oh my God. But like, how do we get through that? And how do we never have that happen again? And then also as an owner and someone that, you know, like this comes in handy with, shout out my mentor, plan that shit out. So if I can see a curveball coming three plays down the road or three, I'm already saying, hey, just make sure when you do this that you're thinking about this though.
Yep.
And then I'll sometimes even, hey,
Devil's advocate.
did you
man.
make sure?
Yeah.
But that comes with the you after 20 years. That comes with the you after not 10,000 hours, 30,000, 40,000 hours. And it's an ever evolving thing. And that's where I go to when people get close-minded about episodes. I'm like, how could you be? We're all students in this right now. In life, we're a student.
Yeah.
In the gym, we're a student. In eating proper, we're a student. In drinking and not having microplastics, like you're learning all the time. So to close yourself off, especially as a cultivator, because that's what I relate to the most is like, dude, come on now. We watched people rock 5.0 ECs. We tasted the flower. Okay, we learned a good lesson. Sponge that shit up.
Yeah.
Oh, we learned about VPD and that we knew we had to keep in a range, but now we know what to call it. And now here's a lesson book. Just follow that shit.
Boom.
Like, I mean, it's just, I'm talking about so much positive shit with the industry because I just think like we're going to such a good place. We need some captains.
Right.
We need some captains of the industry that have their heart in the right place. And I'm not saying me. I'm saying we need some captains that can help navigate this ship a little bit so that when they do want to federally legalize and be like, we want a 30% tax on everything else that you're already selling. And you're like, okay, so 30 already, that's 60. So you're like, okay, so it's for free now. We're selling weed for free forever?
Like,
They need to talk to somebody. Who does that? Because right now, that was the reason we got so much backlash with Glass House too, was that like, I thought, wow, what a great opportunity. And same with, I convinced Cody too. Dude, we get to sit down with this guy. We get to force their hand on as far as like having all three of them there.
that's the fucking hard questions. Yeah.
And we
That's
get to ask, hopefully, but we're not, people wanted us to make them walk off.
Nah.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We're not-
Like-
no.
Like, why did you, they want us to trap them.
No.
And I'm like, dude,
That's just the internet.
but I don't have that in me though, bro.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not professional of you to
Yeah.
do.
That's
like,
just the
what
internet
you're-
wanting to, like,
you're
that's
gonna
just
invite
drama,
someone
you
to-
know?
to
But
your
they took
place
our
to-
page
to-
down. We got attacked forever on it.
Jeez.
I mean, it got bad though. But it's good lessons though to learn though that like,
Sponge it
hey,
up.
dude, when we talk to him, he's the guy they're gonna talk to though.
Sure.
Man, not to say he's not but like there should be other people in that room.
Right.
Sure.
that are smaller, that have come up a different way, that also are closer to the actual guys doing this every day. So I just go to like, these are conversations we have to have. If the industry doesn't like it, it is what it is. But we have to try to nominate a few guys, and we got to put this thing in place to be like, hey man, most of the people are going to agree these are the guys that can help us lead this way. That when New York and New Jersey go online, when Canada wants to build a relationship with the US to start moving weed between the two, or we want to actually, hey man, we're going to be able to ship weed worldwide through US. But who's going to lay that framework? A bunch of politicians who go, how much do we want to make?
No, exactly. And then they have no idea the ripple effect that they produce with overtaxing it, and it just doesn't work. You
do this to the industry before it even comes up. You strangle that shit.
A bottleneck on everything.
But the industry will never become what it could be. And you know, it parallels so much of life, but it's like, that's the positive shit. Is like, I just think you guys are on the front lines. Media is the front lines. And then having the right people on, and it doesn't have to all be like, you need to do this and we need to do that. And it's all scientists and shit. It can be fun. This is fun. But just like, hey man, we need to also figure out like who's doing this with us.
Right. No, I think there's a purpose with it, you know. And one thing that I recognize is a lot of people don't want to be educated as much as I would hope or have hoped. And that comes with the plant in itself, that comes with the laws, I don't know if people are just so stressed in their day, like they just want to have fun, or they don't want to learn as much, or there's something there, right? Where people they got so much going on where it's just, there's like a disconnect where every time I've tried to preach like more education, I feel like it gets shut down and pushed back a little bit more. Do you guys ever feel
100%
feel that?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's also maybe the way people educate some others. Like some people are just like snarky about the education in the cannabis industry. It's like they're not even explaining to us why it's wrong. Like, why are you doing that? It's so like negative almost sometimes, you know? So like if you have easily consumable education where it almost doesn't feel like education, it's not like a novel or a how-to. It's like, I'm smoking good weed. This is why it's better than this bad weed. And it's like very simple at that. That's why, you know, I feel a lot of people like resonate with the people like at Proper Doinks, where it's like, it's informational, but it's easily like consumable. Like you can see good versus bad. You can, you know, it's entertaining stuff too at the same time.
Yeah. And like, so maybe some people are like turned off from the education aspect because it's been presented to them in a
maybe that they just don't want to get preached to, maybe, you know, they just want to smoke.
They've been preached at, and
right?
Like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like my mom,
like I'll just smoke my weed.
Me,
I'll smoke my weed how I want to smoke my weed. Like, fuck
and
you.
This fucking guy reminds me of that teacher I hated.
It's like, dude, that's not the goal at all. Like, we don't want to harsh your vibe or anything like that. We want you to enjoy this shit, bro. But like, I want you to smoke better or healthier or whatever. Like, I want this to be a better experience. That's the goal, right?
You mentioned earlier the mentor lessons of being so like meticulously planned, and that's had a big reason for your success. But I feel like another huge coin, like another side of that coin and a big reason for your success is just like dealing with adversity, especially in the cannabis industry. Is like your plan's not going to go to plan all the time. Maybe most of the time it doesn't actually. So it's like, how have you been able to just like, when your plan goes wrong, do you just, you know, keep it going? Do you refer back to the plan, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's honestly, that's a great question, man.
Banger.
Personally, this is something I think I battle with. I'm guessing most people do. And I'll refer to like people I've learned from or sayings that I've heard from people. And I really try to apply it is pack odds, you know, because 15 years of doing business and us coming up at the time where we actually had some money so we could really do some real business. The bounce back. So like Pac used to always say like, dude, if you can, this is the hardest thing, is that we're throwing hurdles, right? I look at it like a hurdle because I'm a visual learner. We were just talking about learning. I'm a visual learner.
Right.
So everything is like, I'm picturing a Rubik's Cube and this is the problem. And I need to attack it from different locations and be able to get to the center of answering this problem so I can fix this problem. So my visualization is a Rubik's Cube. So I just go into, it needs to be, the goal is a breath of air. The problem comes in, it's gone, man. Meaning like, I'm on the way to solve it. Not everything's immediate, but it's not weighing on me. I'm not now pondering it for fucking 3 nights, can't sleep. I'm thinking of it in the shower.
Mhm.
I'm taking it out on people around me, number one.
Mm.
Don't let that happen.
Right.
So if you can jump that hurdle, like I had joked with someone on my team recently, like, I'm going to get so good at jumping hurdles that I'm in the air more than I'm on the ground.
Mm.
Like, no lie. Like, that's what that, and at the time I had like 8 problems at once, and 3 or 4 of them were really big problems where
Yeah.
you're just like, okay, wow, this is not an immediate fix. So,
Right.
so you're not going to get that gratification out of like, hey, do this. It's like, oh, this is going to take 6 months to figure out. Or this is you got to figure this out. Who knows how long it's going to take.
Feeling attacked over here with everything you said, dude.
Oh, for real though.
Hitting on all the cylinders, bro. Fuck. I'm having a therapy session over here, dude.
No, but like and it's like I take that when I hear someone say that, even if they're not applying it to their life, if it's something good I can apply to my life, and I'm like, they're not living it, doesn't matter. They put a great piece of advice your way, take it or leave it.
Yes.
I go to like, okay, it does need to be like that. You're right. I can't let it weigh on me. Easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
But it needs to be like a breath, like where the problem comes in, the hurdle's coming at you. You don't get to say like, stop. Okay, I'm going to jump that. It's coming, right? So you have to jump that. It's the same with a breath. Like you have to take that breath. You have to blow out. So if you can have that problem, and like I'm a visual learner again, so I'll go back to that. It's just like, if I can look at that problem like a hurdle that I have to jump, and like, again, easier said than done. I'm going to keep prefacing that because no one's perfect.
Sure.
I'm trying my best to get better and better at this.
Sure.
But like, yeah, if it's hurdle after hurdle, jump. Are you thinking back 30 hurdles?
Right.
Bro, it looks like the same with all those. They all look the same at that point. They were
I
just
gotta worry about
problems that I saw.
I gotta fucking keep
I
going.
got some.
Hey,
Yeah,
bro,
I got
hold
some
on.
ahead.
Hey, I gotta jump.
It's the same with when we talked about trimming and then running the grow. And you're like, oh, dude, both? You get to a point when you scale that you can't do both.
Nope.
You have 45 pounds that need to be trimmed. You're going to do that all yourself because now you have 45 or 60 lights up or 30 lights up, whatever it is. Or even you have 20 lights and you just hit 3 a light because you have this new strain. And da-da-da. But I'm saying like you trim that 60 piece? I mean, it's going to take you 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so problem solving at its finest. And I think the best entrepreneurs, the best businessmen, the best growers, in particular, the best hash makers, the best entrepreneurs problem solve at a very high level and then don't hold on to it.
Mhm.
Don't let it affect you that 3 problems ago, this person, like I'm trying to get to that with certain things like, hey, so is the podcast premiered? Hey, why are there views on this podcast when it's not supposed to be public? Oh, it's just this. No, there's more views on it. And we realize like, oh, if you put it on a playlist before, but it's just, okay, well, no worries. This is the way now. We do it this way now. Okay, cool. Hey, it's Sunday night. Like, what's going on with this video? Why is and it's just like, you can freak out, bro, and you can hold that and you're like, man, this fucking, that's 3 times this month. 3 times or you can just say like, yo, I'm going to jump this hurdle as fast as can. And I'm going to learn like, oh, I got to jump a little bit more like this time.
Yep.
Hey, I need more loft.
Yep.
Hey, bro, lift that front leg a little more. And so if you can sponge it up and you can learn, that's what I'm trying to get there, where I'm learning at a fast rate and I'm sponging up lessons at a fast rate. And I'm also delivering results at a fast rate, which is for me the hardest because the reason a lot of my partnerships, I think we battle or not battle. I think that they just don't go past 15 years or multiple is that like you as a creative, you have to align with like a doer,
Okay.
someone that's all day doing that. A lot of people have some of them, both of them in them. You got to find someone who's like, not thinking of the strain names and the brands and this and that. That's in there like, hey, bro, another 100 pounds coming down. Hey, bro, this. And you're telling him, hey, dude, it's not smoking. Or you could parallel this to any part of the business, but it's like, it's teamwork, dude. It's what it all boils down to is just teamwork. So, yeah, problem
Building a
solving at a
proper team.
high rate, you can't do it yourself.
Yeah.
So, and the more people you get on your team, the more problems you have to solve and the faster you have to solve it. So, like, visualize it. If you're a visual learner,
Yep.
visualize it as something accomplishable for you. So like I always look at when a problem gets put on my plate and I'm like, I've never dealt with this. We got to hire a who? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I'm
for
like,
sure.
or like, hey, you need to find a venue in this city or just any type of problem. Okay, this is a Rubik's Cube. I need to attack this thing visually. Here's one. Okay, what if I do this? What's the play out? Okay, this is what happened. Okay, what if I do this?
Taking one part at a time.
and you just let this problem solving evolve a little bit. I think as you get older too, before you'd immediately be like, Sunday night, yo, da 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 da. I'm like, you know what? Give me the night to think about it. Let this problem evolve. And because like, okay, me at dinner time or you in the middle of the day or you at your first smoke of the day is not the same as you tomorrow morning sometimes, or you after the gym, or you after a good meal, or you after you and your lady.
No, it could change.
Yeah.
So sometimes problems don't get solved immediately because your framework for the way you're looking at it isn't there. So sometimes I'll tell myself, and you're asking me like, okay, this hurdle, I need to jump this differently.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I wanted that.
Yeah, if
black
you want to roll a
maple.
joint too, I mean, this Zerbird is nuts, bro. I know you guys are extract guys. So
What is this?
Zerb.
The cookie.
Oh, it's different from the Zerbo. These are two different.
yeah,
ones.
oh yeah, bro. Here, smell this.
Oh,
Yo, it's Z'd up around here, man.
That one's really nice.
holy.
Just does
Try
everybody
it. I mean,
mix?
try that.
Does everybody mix Z
fine.
with stuff because Z is like such a not pretty fucking weed?
No, if I mean,
It's like ugly as shit.
Raw Genetics has the best project going right now is Z, and what I think we're seeing is like the reason people love Blue Zushi
Okay.
is that same reiteration. It's a S1 in my opinion, or I'm gonna guess, right? It's my opinion, but it's either a Skittles times Skittles or it's a S1. It's some version of Skittles times Skittles, and you see this like inbred line of like Blue Zushi where it gets brighter, bro. The Z gets brighter. Like I love Blue Zushi. If you were to give me Blue Zushi AAA batch next to Skittles AAA, I'm probably gonna pick the Blue Zushi. But only based on that I've had more Blue Zushi at a high level than I've had Skittles at a high level too.
There you go.
So there's a play there.
That's valid.
But I love that brightness is the best way to put it. And so I when Raw Genetics did a breeding project, a ZBX2, Skittles times Skittles, and he's going through the male run and I could have misspoke about, now he's on ZBX3. A lot of the phenos being hunted were that same expression of like the way, you know, obviously when you're really into it, the way the flower actually breaks up, similar to this, the way that it breaks up, even the sound of the way it breaks up when it's properly dried is different. And it doesn't break into balls. It breaks into like, it's like if you took hay, like dried hay, and you start to crack it. It has that same like vibe. I don't know. It's hard to, that same feeling. And so like, I think there's a specific feeling that the Blue Zushi has and a lot of the ZBX2 phenos have. And so yeah, Raw Genetics has some ZBX2s, bro. We selected one that's called Zoju. Fucking bro.
I like that one.
He has Zicky Guy from, if you ever had a Kush Clinic, they have some in sometimes. Yeah, they've had some Zicky Guy, and that's a ZBX2.
Yeah, they're pre-roll boards.
Yeah.
Pretty fire. Yeah.
So that's a ZBX2.
That's the one.
Dang.
So next time, grab some flour. And then obviously, it's all about how it was grown and this, that. But the pheno is just exceptional. And like, yeah, so I think people are trying to solve, how about this too? People are trying to solve the Z problem. First one to purple Skittles wins. First one to true purple Skittles. You
That
give
sounds
me
like a good
purple
time.
weed that looks like LCG at its best, or looks like purple Urkel, or looks like grape ape, you know, some version of that.
But it's Skittles.
But it 100% has a Skittles flavor and nose. First one to purple Z wins. Like, and I used to joke with Raw and some other people that, because that's what the mass market, some people are like, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Okay, to you, but I'm talking.
Nah, if you show people a bag of Z, they're or like Blue Zushi,
or
they're
just
like,
next to like some.
they're like,
whack-ass
this weed looks,
LCG. They're like,
this
oh,
weed looks
LCG.
fucking shitty as fuck.
With no smell. And they're like,
mid.
yeah.
It's all trimmed a little shitty. The fucking nug looks all fucking just garbage. It just doesn't look good. It's not pretty. You fucking show them a bag of something else.
Yeah.
dude,
This
and
Z
it's
looks
like-
good.
Yeah,
But
but it's
like
a
with
hybrid
that-
though. It's cross or
Yeah.
something. The other thing is pretty as fuck.
But that I always tell people, they'll break it open because
it smells?
Yeah,
that's what-
because I have to break through you looking at it and being like, and it's like, no, listen.
The personality's there too. Okay, she's pretty and has a good personality.
Right, you gotta get it
man.
on the inside.
Yeah, the inside's there, bro.
Yeah.
Is it there?
Oh,
Guys trying to convince themselves. You hear no girls convincing themselves that. He's got a really good personality. Yeah.
it does go crazy.
I'm a flower guy, so in my opinion, like the number one thing, obviously you can tell, the number one thing I'm always looking for is the best flower. And then 180 something episodes in right now. I get to smoke everyone's stuff, and I get to smoke everyone's
Fire.
best stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say
most
their
likely,
best.
because they're bringing me. And so sometimes I have to preface, like people will say, like, "Yo, was it really fire?" And I'm like, "It was," but it was straight from them.
Mm.
And just so whatever that's worth. Some brands that matters a lot. Some brands that matters zero.
But everything's batch to batch.
And everything is batch
Every
to
grower
batch.
can have a bad batch. They can have an amazing batch too, you know. So it's tough. You could have got the best batch ever, and then they go buy the next one, and it's fucking subpar,
Or they don't like
just
Z.
par. Or
Or they don't like, hey,
They might
man,
just be
I don't-
crazy.
I get panicky with anything that's sativa smelling.
Oh,
Okay, no
chill.
worries. Like,
chill. More for us. More for us.
So they're budskis out there.
well, and Tim and Eric, I'm sure you guys can kind of get to this. Is that like as I evolve as a person, you start to realize nothing's really black or white. There's a lot of gray area, and it's the same thing with like, why did this happen? Oh, there's multiple reasons. Why did this happen? Oh, there's multiple reasons. Never like, well, because of this. It's always more gray area. It's a lot. There's a lot more of an explanation behind it. It's not so simple, is I guess the best way to put it. So it's the same thing. It's the
I would agree. I think there's a lot of
Nuance to everything.
a lot of
Great way to put
variables. A lot of nuanced variables, definitely.
So it's the same thing with problem solving.
Mm.
Ooh, I want the late cough right there. The garlic cookies.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Bro, and then there's some people who are like, I'm burnt out on it. And I'm like, dude, we are in a microcosm in California where it's like so fast paced that I'll have guys that are like in the industry who have top brands in other places. And it's getting less disconnected now, but up until now, where I'd be like, yeah, bro, we were growing, or, you know, we're getting together. I'm like, we were growing this, but now we're doing this. And we were doing this one. He's like, I haven't heard of any of those yet. Or like, hey, bro, we just got this. Or hey, you can get me this cut. And I'm like, dude, we ain't growing that no more. Like, it's burnt out in Cali.
that shit's
And so it is
last
a weird
week,
place
bro.
out here.
No, so like I'm always chatting about it with people that like we smoke in this like fucking less than 1% world where it's just like
Sounds bougie to say, but
it sounds
hate
fucking
that.
like, oh, okay,
I
fancy
know, I
boy.
know.
But like, no, that's the reality. Like this shit is like probably 1% of the people is smoking this shit. And even if you are and you're like, oh, everybody has a trilogy. No, they don't. No, they don't.
Mm-mm.
If you do, you're 1% or less.
Mhm.
Like you're that guy. Cause it's just the reality is most people just have you ever seen weed Twitter? Motherfuckers is out here smoking.
Putting whatever they want in their joints. Do you believe in the tobacco and weed combination? Or do you think
Okay,
that's blasphemy?
They going crazy with it now. They're being
They're
trolls.
putting
now.
grabba in the
They're being
sticks
trolls.
in there. I see
Bro.
some
They're
crazy
being
stuff.
trolls
I see some
now.
crazy
I
stuff
know you're
online.
watching. You're being a troll. Okay, you're fucking around.
It is wild though, because
Smoke a blunt, man.
if you go to Europe, you know, and you guys
Yep,
probably know,
yep.
that's like their thing.
They love
is
it.
spliffs. And so,
It's spliffs and hash, right?
so now I'm like, oh,
Mm.
we're
Or tobacco and
following
hash,
them. Like we're going now. You see New
Yeah, what
York
the
and
fuck
shit,
are
and
we
you're like,
doing?
yo, because at
New York
first
loves
I was
tobacco.
like, this is foreign. What the fuck is this?
Right.
You're putting tobacco in a joint. Just smoke a blunt.
Yeah.
But then I start to realize, oh, dude, ain't that what they're doing over there?
Yes.
And they're trying to get away from it now. Like we're shot. They'll give you like fucking herbs on the table. That you're supposed to
Yeah. Some of
I'm
the
like,
shops
yo,
are
come
going
on.
away from the. putting
But it is weird how
We trying to go back.
man, it's just weird how it evolves in different places. Like,
Just be American and don't do
Are
it,
you
man.
seeing that
Come
in
on,
Cali?
America.
are you seeing that in Cali?
Nah, I'm just seeing it on Twitter, honestly.
But it's New York
I don't know
Yeah,
where.
it's
I
New
don't know
York. New
where
York
the
loves
fuck.
it.
Or the
tobacco.
Northeast.
I don't know where the fuck
For
to
sure.
do that.
Maybe
It's just
Boston.
That ain't
I don't
no-
understand the like. If you want the tobacco high,
Smoke a blunt, right?
smoke the blunt. So can someone educate me in the comments? Because I'm ignorant on the subject.
Maybe they can pick their tobacco. Maybe that's their argument.
I don't know.
I don't even know where they to get their
Bro,
tobacco
they're
from.
putting-
I know some
it's-
people
bro,
empty cigarettes.
put some-
No,
Put some
no.
fucking
They're
hash
putting
in it.
they're putting grabba. That's
Yeah.
what it is. They're putting grabba leaf.
Like
in
you
it.
would a
I
hash
saw a
hole.
grabba leaf hash hole. No, I saw a fucking grabba leaf
That's
hash
what I'm
hole
talking about.
today.
Yeah.
Today I saw it. I was like, "What the fuck am I looking at?" It was it was nice ass weed,
Wow.
nice ass rosin, and fucking tobacco. And I was like,
Damn. I bet you that shit hit though.
I bet it got you high as fuck. I'll be
That was
so
my
lightheaded.
next
I can't smoke a blunt, bro. I'll be
I'm like,
so
damn, this
lightheaded.
dude's an
bro.
ex-addict.
Bro.
The fucking guy putting
Three
hash,
different things in
grabba.
How
there.
high are you trying to get?
Sorry,
Bro, humans be trying to get high, man. I swear.
Also, like, man, just put some hash in there, like grab it and shit. Okay. I don't know. But we weren't raised on that, so it's hard for you to. And you know what? Smoke how you want to smoke. Actually,
That's at the
I
end of
just
the
had to
day.
rethink my thought process there.
At the
I'm
end of
not
the
going
day.
to be like that. Don't be that.
I think it's awesome. You want to get that high. I'm like, fucking do it.
I just can't do it.
I
When
can't
hit
hang.
It grabs me.
I might be just upset I can't hang. You know what it reminds me of is when I was a senior in high school, I would go to hang out with my friends in college and they had this bong. They had 2 bongs. One bong was for what they called mole hits.
Oh,
And that
mole,
was weed
MLM.
with tobacco on it, and you
Heard
would
of those.
snap the bowl out of a bong. So you're getting a tobacco hit in a fucking
That is
bong,
sickening.
bro.
But
That
Hey,
bong
where-
smelled so fucking gross, by the way. Oh.
That's some shit Adam Hill does or something.
Oh, dude, that shit is fucking gnarly, bro. Nah, I can't smoke tobacco like that, bro. I don't know why. That's the thing, though. You heard about that? The mole hits?
yeah, I have heard about it.
Have you
We
done one?
graduated.
I didn't know that was a SoCal thing.
I don't know. I did it in SoCal, yeah, but I didn't know. I don't know where it's
Yeah, I'm trying to
originated from.
remember. People in Australia.
Let us know where
Put
you've
a
done it. Let
tombstone
us
on
know.
that shit, man.
Please.
Nah.
We don't need it. If you want to smoke tobacco, smoke blunts. That's totally fine. Blunts are cool. There's plenty of Brothers
People in Australia
Broadleaf.
fuck
Get
with
those.
blunts heavily. I mean, mole hits. I think it's
Australia.
That is crazy.
I was talking to somebody in Australia. They was talking about they have weed, but it's really shitty. It's like medical. It's only medical for like cancer patients and shit.
Yeah.
You can't get it. Highly illegal. Australia doesn't seem that great, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
whoa.
I'm just saying.
They got some crazy animals.
That's what I'm saying. I'm terrified. They ain't got no legal weed. Everything's trying to kill me.
Mm.
Some of the hottest models on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, see, look, now we're talking. Okay,
And
this is better.
I'm just an observer. I'm just
This is
like,
better.
oh, that's interesting.
What's his
I'm
for
a
you?
sponge. I'm taking that knowledge.
Sponge.
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 I'm like, Australia again?
Sponge, dude.
Is it New Zealand too, or is it just Australia?
I don't know.
Both of them? Just the area? in
My
general?
only New Zealand
They're
fact I
looking good
know
down there?
is that
Wait.
them and us are the only people in the world that allow pharmaceutical commercials.
Oh.
That's the only fun fact I got for you.
Fun fact. I'll
That
how you put
is
it
a
that
Pop
way.
some pharmaceuticals in New Zealand.
Crazy. We got pharmaceutical commercials and we can't get lounges.
It's just because people they can't figure out how to make money. That's the only reason.
Hmm.
Like,
Well, and they want a license. They want a $2-3 million license, like you would cannabis, like you're actually producing cannabis.
well,
To
see,
fucking
a lot of
have
them,
smoke lounge.
a lot of them have like retail attached to it. Is why I think that the licenses cost
How
that
do
much.
we not though? How do we let small batch entrepreneurs be like, dude,
Just get
I
a
know
little,
the culture. I'm gonna put a
store.
cool.
Little store. You
But
know?
then
Not even
so
store.
so you're not going to sell in there.
I want to do it. well, Okay,
See?
it's an adult arcade.
Okay.
BYOB.
Mm.
We got dab rigs.
So how do you-
we got this. We got all that. You bring your own stuff.
You make money out
and
of the
But that's how
arcade.
do you make money?
Yeah.
But it's always that you have to create.
How do you make
I've
money?
always been like, why haven't any hospitality groups got involved? Because you're always like, oh, these chain of restaurants is owned by this group in Miami or this group here or this group. I've been surprised, and it's probably because I can't see the business side because I don't. That's usually where I miss it.
Mhm.
But it's like, wow, I'm surprised they haven't gotten involved yet because it is a very hospitality thing. Like if you eliminate
No,
the selling
that's
the weed,
all it
that's
is.
all it is.
It's 100% hospitality. They probably don't get into it. One, an insurance thing
Yeah.
because the smoking thing, and then it's just there's a liability there with everyone being high, like that. A lot of people just don't think about.
But what about
From
the
the event
bars?
side.
Isn't that, people have
Well, bars they have insurance
risky.
that they have that. There are.
What would that industry be though? What would the alcohol industry be without bars or clubs?
right?
Yeah, it would fucking not be.
Welcome to the weed industry.
Yeah, no, literally.
No, that's like, and so people want a breath of fresh air. We want this industry to bounce back because prices are low and everyone's growing for mass and all the complaints that you hear, right?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Well, we need consumption lounges. We need places where people can go socialize. We need consumption up. We have production up.
I agree. We're overproducing weed, and the prices are plummeting, and we can't export it,
Under-consuming
and we
it.
can't.
Yeah,
if
can't
you-
export it for sure. That's
You want new consumers? Well, they're gonna need experiences that are fun. Like you should be able to go to an adult-only fucking bowling alley if you want to and smoke weed. A movie theater. But then there's also California's is one of the strictest places on smoke indoors too. So that's having
Needs
employees
to be like
in a
amazingly
place like
ventilated.
that is also hard. Like because now Now you're at risk for, it's all liability bullshit, really, because now you're at risk of getting sued by your
It's all
staff.
just getting sued and
Yeah,
shit.
it's the boring, like, not fun part. Like, I could tell you the fucking list of reasons why I fuck.
Here
'cause-
comes the bad part of the partnership.
It's,
bro.
yeah, it's like I'm like
Weighing
the
the crate.
I'm like the not fun guy right now. It's like fuck, dude. Like I want there to be the lounge. I trust me. That's like, dude, I have a million ideas for. I got a chain of them
Here
right
comes
here.
dad, man.
But it's like, yeah,
Ruining
like
the parade.
the fucking staff sues you because they got fucking cancer now from
Yeah.
being in the smoke in
You didn't
filled
get that
place.
from me.
or your insurance is 5x
So like
because they don't know
maybe
about
maybe
that.
Vegas, because doesn't Vegas have some lounge stuff
They
They
going
do
on?
have some.
I heard-
Planet 13 just they're trying to do crazy stuff at Planet
What about-
13. I just went there.
Palm Springs.
They have a lounge opened.
I think-
so,
The Vault.
I think Palm Springs,
That's a lounge there I've been to.
but it's
yeah,
like
yeah. I just went to
see
the
what
lounge.
I'm saying though? It's still not what we want.
Yeah, facts.
No.
100%.
I want to go. I want it to be like what he explained his Amsterdam experience was. He went
Walk
to a
in,
place,
vibe.
got us fucking some food if he wanted, got some
Spliff.
weed, fucking smoked. Like that's awesome.
Pretty
Went down the other street and
What
boom,
spot?
walked in and got a hooker. You know, got kicked out
The
because he
full
tried to
experience.
negotiate. She wasn't down. She wasn't down with the price cut, so he had to dip. You know, it sounds fun. It sounds fun. You know,
I think Pre-DME had the
Yeah.
had the- that one was
Best
cool.
spot in Amsterdam.
That one was
As
cool,
far as a
man.
lounge.
Yeah, multi-level, just like the place.
Yeah.
we
place
definitely
to be.
need. We definitely need some lounges.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah. Planet 13 just opened their lounge, but it's kind of weird because you have to buy if you buy weed in the dispensary, it's all in the same building. You walk to the lounge, but you have to put your weed up. You have to buy different weed in the lounge, and it's like.
Because it's a separate.
Yeah, it's
I
a
tell you all
whole
the sad
separate little
fucking-
entity. It's a whole
fucking
legal
suck my whole
bullshit.
fucking balls, dude.
It's
I swear to
crazy.
God. Swear to God. This is why there's not a lounge.
Dougie had it right.
This
and
is-
I'll give him props about that. He
Yeah,
was one of the
the
first
Hitman
guys.
Coffee Shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they would have been allowed.
But it's not profitable.
Mm.
See, so it's just like it's fuck.
You gotta sell something, merch.
Fuck. It's not even that.
Still
It's
not,
running a
right?
restaurant just in itself is super hard, right? So if you want to
Right.
you want to fucking add weed into it too, or if you don't have the food, then what the fuck are you selling? What are you
Tea.
doing?
They do tea and coffee over there.
yeah, but
Amsterdam.
what do you?
Who survives on that?
They're selling food though too at these. They're selling weed though at these. That's how the coffee shop's making money. Like it's you're not.
So
gonna,
it has to be a product that you're going there for. So like there in Denver, I'm sure there's a place called the One Up.
Mm.
Okay.
You've been there and it's an adult arcade.
Arcade.
And they have a bar inside though, but
Love
it's
it.
all the video games from the 80s and 90s, then
Love
some
it.
new stuff, but it's an adult arcade. And
But you could drink. It's a bar.
Oh yeah, you go full go. So I always thought, ooh, that's an interesting
Weed.
premise because they're making their money on the alcohol.
100%.
But they're making also like you look around and some nights it's packed.
Playing
and
games.
it's guys and girls, yeah, and it's quarters.
You know
And-
what I thought? Dave and Buster's weed.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Mm.
Because you could do the food. They're making money on the food. You're making money on the like a fuck ton on the games. Crushing on the games, right? Like
Yeah.
those games are dumb expensive when you're in there.
And there is a lot of kids, so you do eliminate the kid aspect with weed.
Sure.
But
Sure.
there's also things you can
gotta-
add now.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's going to take a creative, man. And this is what's crazy is think about if you lay the framework for the next Weed, Dave and Buster. What's that? Like what is it that you're like? Because now you're able to say every legal state, right? And if
Right.
one legal state says, "Wow, look at the way they're doing this," they'll let you in. They see the money. They start to go, "Oh, well, he did it right. So maybe we should just tax him, right? We'll tax you, and you can come in." It's just interesting. Where I'm like, "Wow, no one's grabbed that
The
opportunity yet."
weed, Dave and Bud. What you Googling over here? Oh, yeah. This one's pretty cool. This is a brewery and a
Ooh.
cannabis dispensary in, what is it, Texas? In Houston, Texas.
The hemp way, man.
I love this.
So you can get
Wonder.
alcohol and weed here
Fire.
because
The
it's
same
well
location.
it's
I don't
the
even
Farm
really
Bill.
drink either. I think it's dope.
Right?
You should,
I'm into
we're
freedom.
fucking adults.
Yeah.
What
Just
the
do
fuck?
it-
I
do
can't
whatever
have
you
alcohol
want.
and weed together.
They have a
What
pinball
the
tournament
fuck?
coming up.
We're sliding on there.
See, but
that's
that's the biggest issue with even the lounges we have is like, okay, I'll put up with this, a 20%, $20 fee if you bring your own weed and this, and that. But like, I went to a local one, I won't throw them under the bus. And we were going to go on Super Bowl Sunday because I thought, oh, cool. I'm not
dude.
a big drinker, but I'll go and smoke and I
Fuck
want
yeah.
to watch the game and be around.
Great
and order some
idea.
food.
Right.
They were like, oh, we're not playing the Super Bowl.
Because I hate being the not fun guy.
Because
Fuck. Because you know how much they would have to charge to put the Super Bowl on in a business?
Really? You
Yeah.
can't just throw it on a TV?
No.
I thought that was the thing with
So
UFC.
charge $100
It's with
a head and
it's with
throw
everything.
some food in there that costs you
Wow.
six laps
Broadcasting
out.
fee for a live venue. My
You're not a,
fucking balls hurt right now even thinking about it. I'm
That's
just dadding up right now. I'm like,
crazy. That's
fucking
crazy.
venues just but that's the not fun fucking part of it where it's
Or is
it's
it
so
true-
hard to be like you can't be successful.
Is it true for UFC events they have to buy per screen?
No, it's per person capacity wise.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot more than screens. Yeah, bro.
So the better you do, the better they do.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So you better make that money on the fucking drinks, bro.
Holy.
That's why your beer's fucking $20, homeboy.
They're in UFC.
Yeah.
Bruh.
That's why your beer's $20, bro. Your double shot's 42 or some bullshit.
$17 hot dog.
Yeah, literally. Dude, we ate 7 of those. Oh my God. Go watch that video, guys.
I just tossed the streamy stuff. It's a little
guys
delayed. They're like, why is that one delayed?
You do a food vlog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do a food,
The food
food
show.
show. Yeah.
The munch.
Fuck. That honestly that's my favorite, dude.
It is my favorite.
We go we get super stoned, do these, and then afterwards we go to just eat some whatever, like the craziest food we can find. Sometimes
Like a
we've
hyped
been
up
eating like our
place, low-key
favorite stuffs,
place.
but now I'm trying to get us to go to like 1-star place. Like let's go try some fucked up shit.
Gonna hurt our tummy?
Maybe.
Come on.
Maybe.
man.
Maybe.
Shit.
Dude, I was watching a video on Indian street food. Oh my God.
Made with their toes and shit?
Oh, dude, under $1 items.
Oh,
I was freaking out, dude. There was some shit, dude. Oh,
most
fuck
things
no.
are under $1.
Fuck,
You wouldn't
there's-
eat all out of it or what?
I wouldn't have ate like
Any of it?
75% of it.
Oh, there's some that you would though. That's a good
Yeah,
chunk,
there was
25%.
like 3 items I was like, all right, I'm fucking with this.
Nice.
Yeah.
What were they? Like rice?
I don't know. Some like
Couldn't even
it's all
see.
like vegetarian shit, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I don't know. Especially for the under $1 items. There was only like one item that had
They
meat.
put in like a little leaf.
Bro, it was like I don't know. It was like one item that was weird was like it was like a bun, and then they cut the bun in half and they put some sauce on it, and then they put a potato in the
Oh.
bun, and then they closed it, and I was like,
There's a whole potato.
I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
Nah, that's incredible.
He's like, yeah, I'll eat that one.
Yeah,
The potato bun.
pretty plain, dude.
Mm.
Faded, man.
That one guy
Holy
got
fuck.
famous. The guy who leaves his feet out.
Oh, he got
And
famous.
everyone was like, and so people were showing up trying to film it, and they got in the whole thing.
He got his toes out.
The viral video that, yeah, the guy's toes out, and he's dipping it in the sauce.
Nah, chill. That's how you get sick, bro. I got E. coli, dog. Hell no.
Mm. Maybe
Can't
worse.
have it. Fuck that, bro.
It works.
A
Fuck
lot of
that.
walking.
Dude, I feel like the garlic cookies got me faded.
Really? Yeah, that the garlic.
Cooking.
GMO always gets me faded, especially in the daytime. Puts me to sleep.
I
man.
feel like that should be illegal. The nighttime weed.
What are your favorite terps?
I'm
At least right now.
I like a man. I'm always been gravitated towards good sativas.
Nice.
Nice. Nice.
Anything I'm looking for the best expression, but
Yeah.
like I like to smoke and then work. So like when I'm done with this, I want to go do some shit.
Hell yeah.
And so a lot of times I gravitate towards like that racy feeling.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I'm having a panic attack.
But I
Right.
also, as I get
so
older,
like the Jacks and the not really.
the golden goat.
Oh,
That'd probably
nice,
be one.
nice.
that's a good strain right
Yeah.
there. That was
I had that for the first time when I was in Colorado. When I was
Ooh.
19.
What do you
Fitting.
think?
I loved it. I loved it. That's exactly the alley that I like as well. Like the sativa, like not. I guess racy is how you would describe it, but not even the feeling. I just love the smell, like that orangey, tangy kind of
Citrus.
things.
Damn Tangy.
Mm.
Oh my God. When that first came out, I done fucking lost my mind. Oh my God. HGH extractions, dude. Oh my God. They were making fucking Tangy at the little underground hash bar. Oh my God. That was so
the
fire.
Underground
That's where
hash
Moxie
bar.
was developed.
Ooh,
Yeah, that was cool.
Moxie.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro,
What a
they were
brand.
so
What a
big.
brand.
Every trap shop in all of Cali, you would go in if they had one extract.
Shout
one,
out to Billy.
It was Moxie.
For sure.
Yeah, so that like I remember that they got in an argument, and then one day all the HGH little envelopes inside it with the little like bag with the shatter in it all had a sticker that said Moxie. I was like, who the fuck is Moxie, bro? I was like, what the fuck? They did like a fucking marketing campaign in the bags, bro. I was like, oh shit. And that's
Little
when they
takeover.
split. Yeah, it was lit. I was like,
yeah,
this is
that's the
crazy.
final move.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, they put a sticker on the thing. I was like, oh. That was wild.
Looks like quite the tasty joint, man. There's a lot of discussion online about ash color and its correlation with smokability or this or that. What is your take on that? Is it white ash only?
He put chemicals in his weed to make it white ash.
Oh,
That's what, is that I heard that's
I
what
sit
they
here with
say
the lighter
now.
for the last hour off camera. As soon as it switches
that-
to when you're talking, I'm like this.
Is that a thing that people could do though? Like, cause I've heard that. I don't know. I don't grow. I don't fucking know. Do they put shit in weed to make it have white ash?
It's not that they put it in there. What they'll do is they'll realize like, oh, potassium or calcium burns white. And if I use this one nutrient heavy at the end of my cycle, I can get, there's always going to be cheaters, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
for sure.
you won millions of dollars in Vegas where you counting cards? Like there's always,
Yep.
it's never black or white. So
Yep.
yeah, bro, you guys are cheating the system. Like look how that fell off. Like it's
You know,
beautiful
fuck it.
ash and that's grown proper. Pat guys used to be like, why is your shit burn so clean? He had asthma and he would always bring it up. And I'd be like, I don't know. And then I had to look back, ask yourself questions. Why does my product burn like that? Or why does when I'm growing this, why do some of the best cultivators have this in common?
Yeah.
Right? Start to expand past yourself. And
Yeah.
I just go into, it does. There's a checklist. Again, it's not black or white. There's a checklist. There's 8 to 10 boxes you have to check.
Got it.
Does it taste like it smells? Is it burning properly? Is it combusting properly? Which also goes into the ash color, but is it tasting like it smells? Sometimes even when you light it, before you even flavor, I can smell the flour off of the actual burning joints. And that for me is usually a signal to, ooh, this is going to be
He
interesting.
been giving me shit. Every time I smell some shit, he be like, why are you smelling it first?
He just smells everything.
I smell everything.
Oh.
That's flavor, bro. You got to get up in that.
I want the full
You don't-
experience.
Hey, you don't
You're right.
smell it before you eat it? You're sick.
Any food.
You're
any food,
sick.
any
You gotta
food.
relate it to him.
I plug my nose sometimes, actually.
You're fucking disgusting, bro. You're fucking disgusting. You're such a sick man.
Clothespin.
Oh, because then you still have hands free. That's the technique. Maybe you should start. Maybe hey,
Tim
that's,
sees the vision.
that's
Tim sees the vision.
that's the next merch drop. We just drop a clothespin.
You're like, it's a roach clip. Trust us.
Oh my god,
That's
it's
the way.
versatile fucking item. This might be. I don't know if it is. We're gonna check, but this might be record length podcast,
W,
which
There
is
we go.
amazing.
I wouldn't want any other guest for it to be a
Which
length
is amazing.
podcast, man. Fuck
That's
yeah.
I love it.
talking.
No, it's
Yeah.
fire.
I like
Because that
a
just
lot.
means, like I was saying when you were taking a break, I was just like, he was like, so how's the episode? And I was like, it's on fire. He's like, are you just saying? I was like, nah, this is fire because like the conversations are just flowing that if it's a bad episode, man, it's not gonna last 3 hours.
Yeah.
No
Facts.
fucking chance of it. Like, there's no- who the fuck's sitting through that? There's no fucking way. Like this is
Dude,
the
this
vibe.
maple?
The maple's
You
good.
almost killed it, man. What's up with that?
Well,
I was-
they're you know what I don't like? 1 gram jars.
1 gram jars. Are,
What
you
the
know I mean?
fuck, man?
That's what I like about Colorado. They sell
4
baller jars out there, the rec market. You know, you
gram.
don't need a medical card or anything. 4 gram bucket jars.
And that's just another thing. It's just like that creates nothing but waste. Like that doesn't do anything positive for anybody. 1 gram jar. What's that do? What's the point of that?
Price point.
What's that? That's what it does. It ruins
Only-
the price point.
No,
Holds the price point.
I mean, because if you take a 2 gram jar and you try to sell it to someone, that price point is like the average sale at a dispensary. I think is something like.
Oh,
And so-
okay.
And now even
Bet,
black market,
bet,
you're
bet,
making
bet,
that person
bet.
buying more. But I also think hustlers want it broken down more because they can charge more. It's a per piece thing. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
so
Mhm.
I think
100%.
it's both. I think there's the hustle mentality of the shops who are like, yeah, we want 1 grams because we make 2x on that 1 gram if we have a 2 gram jar.
Like 1.7 or 1.5 on
See what
it
I'm
or
saying?
whatever. Yeah, no, I feel it. That makes total sense.
So they're both in
hey,
cahoots.
you're on the business side too, man. Ah!
You see my disdain when I'm telling you about this? I'm like,
It's
fuck
like,
it.
ugh.
That's the creative in me. I got to get past that. I'm like, they fucking tax. You're like, that's how the whole thing works.
to the people. Fuck it.
That's how it should be. Medicine to the people.
It's not, and like, yeah, dude, anything you love, you have to continue to do it. No one's out here, wanting to be a nun or, just doing it for the love and like, I don't want anything. Like a lot of us, yeah, dude, we aspire to be something greater in life. And it just so happens we're passionate about cannabis. So we put those together.
Yes.
Why would we be like anybody else in business and not want to make a profit or be able to build because that profit, this is the thing too. People be like, oh, he's tucking it away and burying it behind the house. No, dude, you're getting more employees or you're hiring better employees or we're getting a better place to shoot. We're getting better cameras.
Yep.
Like oh, dude, the FX3s just came out. Oh, got to get those. Like, oh, we need 4 of them because each guest should have their own. Holy fuck. You know, and so you start to run, and it's like, but that's what we're aspiring towards, is like putting it back into the business so that we can be prouder of this product that we're like, hey, dude, 73 days, 10-day flush, touch the vine when they trimmed it. This is exactly how I would want my herb in front of me presented after 150 cycles. That's fire. And like, that's the same thing with podcasting or anything. You want it that. You're like, I want to be able to be so good that I'm like so proud of this when I present it. You guys are stoked.
And if you're not, you're lacking that passion
There you go.
or the effort. One of the two.
Both. They usually go hand in hand.
Yeah, yeah, usually.
But that also goes like this. Because it's hard to be in love forever.
Yeah.
So how do you keep that, right? It's like, it's hard to be that girl you first meet and you're dating and you're chasing. Say, it's how do you do that for 25, 35, 45, 55 years?
How have you found to do that with cannabis?
I fall into other passions that keep it going. So when I learned design, when I learned graphics, when I learned stuff like that, we started putting fireweed that I've always had a passion for, and now add in like my passion for creating a vision in my head, like you would, where you say, dude, I can see what it needs to look like. People ask like, oh, what do you do with your graphic designer? I basically 90%, I'm like, just like this.
Yeah.
But I've laid it out where the vision is anytime I come to them with something, it's already, I'm never like, hey, let me know what you come up with. It's literally never that. So then it's like, oh, this is fun. I get to build a world, like Jerry from Tenko says. I get to build a world around each strain or around my brand. I get to build this, like I kind of tell my tale through it and what I'm interested in. And I just think like that's a spark. So that it's like throwing coal into the fire, right? Boom, it reignites your flame a little bit. Now you get into the media side and you're getting with you're exchanging energy with other creatives, and we're doing a 3-hour pod. It's like, yeah, bro, because we're passionate about this and the industry and weed and fire and
facts.
So I think that ignites it as well. So now you get 3-4 years of like designing and branding, and not to say it dies out, but you're like, it's like throwing a pit. You're like, all right, I'm warmed up.
Yep.
So then it's like, oh, here's this new thing, but it adds to this transformer that becomes this ultimate vision. So it's like, does design work with branding? Yeah, bro. Look at this. I mean, look at even the color you guys picked is very unique. There's a reason behind that. That comes with time. That comes with knowing what you're about to enter. So I just think like those things ignite your passion in the same industry. It's amazing that we get to put these puzzle pieces together, and then it forms this beautiful picture of what you created.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, find passions, niches within your business for me that reignite that spark and keep it alive. And that's why some people will be like, oh, he's not growing huge warehouses. It's like, no, dude, but I still got plants and I still grow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still growing.
But I'm also doing branding now, and I'm also breeding. Did you know I'm breeding? Oh, no, I didn't know. Oh, and it's like, yeah, dude, I'm adding to my repertoire. I'm going to learn TC next, tissue culturing. And so find those other things and some of it you might not like. You're going to learn and you're going to be like, this, I'm good on that. I'm going to hire someone for that. But like graphic design is one of the things I'm 100% going to do in the next year.
Nice.
I can hire someone that's going to teach me a class. I want to be able to get proficient at just graphic design. So when someone can't get my vision,
You can.
I can.
Yep.
Or I can get it so close that I'm like, hey man, you're already great at what you do. Tidy that up.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Take that and let's see some real.
You got it out of your fucking head at least.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because that's the hardest part is getting it from here onto something where someone else can look at it.
Even edits in the pod, bro. When we're going through edits and I'm like, hey, we want a new trailer, or we wanted this. I already know what I want. My hardest part is trying to convey that through words to be like, hey, see it like this. And I'm not saying it's always needs to be my way. I'm just saying like most of the time when I'm involved in the project, when I present my option, it's usually fully thought out. Like, hey, I think it needs to be just like that.
Yep.
But let me know. No, for real, because I'm a sponge. So I want to learn too. If there's a better way. It's like with the market with bags, bro. 5 years ago, if you'd have told me you can't do jars anymore, me and you would have battled. We would have battled.
What are you talking about?
And then you realize you eliminate a massive part of the market who moves around with product, however you want to interpret that. and then also having 5 of these in your versus 5 of these. I mean, and just
No-brainer.
there's just, and even the weight, even the cost, and even
Mhm.
that once you're through that eighth or that quarter or that half ounce or ounce, I mean, that thing's useless. Most people just toss that jar out. So versus this. And so it's tough now, but like, look, evolve,
The Treyway.
find your
The tray.
passion.
They
You say
get Trey in
The
there,
Treyway.
man.
6'9" over here.
But yeah, dude, be a sponge.
Mm.
What is this? Oh,
The grape spritz, man.
Dude,
That's a good
he's got
one.
the terps.
That's a good one. Doink, man, I'll tell you what. One of the last questions I'll ask you before I hold up too much of your time. And what excites you the most about cannabis's future, you think,
Ooh.
after being in here for so long?
when you say cannabis, you mean like the whole industry, or do you mean like specific for us, or what?
Just the future in general. Just like, just maybe just for you, maybe in general. Future of the plant. Who
Man,
knows?
I'm like a really big proponent for lounge.
Mm.
And I just say that because a lot of our issues, maybe they're not going to let us have less taxes. Maybe they're not going to, like, those are not in our control. We
Mhm.
cannot control some of those facts. We can lobby, we can fight, we can make posts about it, we can show up at meetings and you know, but like, that's hard, man. They don't make those easily change. And when they make those changes, it's like they put for 2 years.
Mhm.
I just think we need lounges for this industry. And I think we're going to get the breath of fresh air that a lot of us have been wanting. And I think with that's going to then come online interstate commerce. With that's going to come, and we're going to be able to expand our profitability and or boutique and more people involved in the industry. All the good stuff we want, we're going to be able to do that because we have consumption lounges. And we can show like, this is how it works. We have more people consuming. We can do this state to state. It's not hurting anybody. Hey, look, no one's getting fucking DUIs like they were. Like, and then once I just think like we can't get there without opening the network up. And I don't see it any other way. Because if we get federal legalization, they're just going to tax it. If we get
Mhm.
interstate commerce, they're just going to tax it. Okay, well, how do we fix this scenario without us paying the price? We need consumption.
Mhm.
We need to all be able to gather like this. We need to be able to do live. Think about what it opens up for media.
Right.
For now, lounges all over the US want to have you guys do a live Pine Park.
Fuck yeah.
Mm.
And they say, hey, dude, we'll pay you guys to come out. We want to sell 100 seats and we want to drop your strain, but then they're also going to be able to BYOB. It just
Right.
opens up. It's like the ripple effect we were talking about with cannabis, where stuff we haven't even thought of yet is going to be invented off of that.
Mhm.
That
Oh,
model.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Dude, come on, man. And so that's honestly what I'm looking forward to the most.
Fuck yeah.
Because
Hell yeah.
I've tried to attack this thought. And again, we're talking about just these are my opinion.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But this is like, how do we attack this problem of like, we're ever expanding how much we're producing. It's just constant. It's not stopping. It's going more and more. Every state's coming online. Prices keep dropping and nothing's driving them up. And I don't think interstate commerce is going to do that over a long period of time. And I don't think federal legalization is going to do that over a long period of time. So then is international commerce going to do that? And it's like we get these. So the only flip side of that is, yeah, I'm looking forward to consumption lounges
Nice.
I like that.
for you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
as well, for
That's lit.
media.
It's gonna be awesome. Consumption lounges are big. I
Pine
feel like for
Park.
the culture as well. The big thing about Europe is that they know what good smoke is, and that's just from like smoking with other people. You know what I mean? You don't get
because
that.
it's social.
Yeah, here in pretty much every state, you just buy your weed and go home, and you just smoke about
You
it, and then
you might
then
smoke
you
it with
bitch
your friends
online.
at home
That's
and
all it
stuff
is.
like that, and then tell somebody on Twitter.
Yeah,
You know?
maybe.
And then have the landlord tripping
Yeah.
because the neighbor's tripping. And it's
Yeah.
like, dude,
or now you're smoking in your car, getting a DUI
Right,
because
right.
you know. No, hey,
Solves a few problems. It appears.
I've the lounge thing has been on my mind for a decade.
it fixes multiple problems.
right.
Yes.
And so we're getting heady and shit, you know, but like you're asking me heady questions, like just I've had to evolve my thinking too, because now I realize like, yeah, it does have to financially make sense. It does have to, but like just sitting with so many people and bringing this up and I'm like, man, I don't know how you fix this without us getting strangled more with taxes.
Mm.
Okay, we need lounges. And then I don't know the answers to the model and all that, but I know if you look at the alcohol industry
It works.
and like, what would that be without it?
Mhm.
Well, you can think of like a place like maybe like a Soho Club, like a place like that, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Where it's a private place that people gather and they pay membership fees.
Right.
That model works if you build the right place.
Dude.
because
100%.
people are willing. There are people willing to pay lots of money to be a part of a exclusive place, and maybe that's not ideal for the masses because not everybody can afford that. But that model is what I see. Maybe that's what starts working, is a more higher end place.
Yeah.
Because I just don't
Yeah.
I just don't know how it works with like
Or
a $20 fee or something.
Sunday,
or
it's a
$10
grow
fee.
class. Saturday, we're doing a women's thing where it's like a women in cannabis, or like it's
Sure.
pottery with cannabis.
Glass
Like,
blowing
you gotta,
class.
hey,
No, you
we
got
have
the
we have a
value.
UFC on next Saturday night. We're gonna do a thing. It's
The value
100 a head,
exchange.
but like
Yep.
it's not. I think a lot of people get into the cannabis business and think like, I'm gonna do the most basic thing and I'm gonna make gold.
Nah,
I'm mining gold.
it's just-
And you have to still get creative. Like, look at
Fuck yeah.
even the brands hitting the market right now. They can have great weed. What else?
Mhm.
That's what we're hearing. Like, oh, it's a packaging is fancy. Which strain are they growing? Because
Yeah.
they can grow great, but if it's not the right strain, we also don't want it.
It needs to, so like when you're like the creative and the effort really has to be there for these lounges because
Mhm.
I've seen them, right? So like even in like Michigan, where like a venue I would use all the time, it was a cannabis lounge, and they took over like a country club. They had they had a full kitchen, they had full stage with like projectors and stuff, but people didn't patronize it enough. And they didn't make enough money, so then they had to resort to having like open sales basically with vendors, and then you start getting harassed by the city because you're fucking selling weed now, trying to keep the doors open, so it's that balance of having enough fun things that will make people, like, it's got to be an attraction. They can't just go there for weed. It's got to be, like you said, it's got to be something there. Like, you want to take, it's a date night like place. Like, it's an event. It's something to do every night. Because if it's not every night, then it's like, fuck, man. It's just, yeah, it's a hard problem to solve, but it needs to be solved. And I literally have plans for lounges written up, like different ideas. Because I've thought it's an idea that I hope one day it happens. Even if I just go attend them, it'd just be cool to see it happen.
Yeah. It's got to.
I feel
Someone's
like
going to do it, and they're going to break the wall where then everyone's going to be like,
that makes
okay.
so much sense.
But
be
you're
like,
also going to be the one. Like, and that's where I think maybe not the first one always is the one, but there's something
Someone
there,
early.
man. And you're doing God's work too, because it's like when you start to think about the problems that solves and the stigmas that it breaks, and the amount of income that it creates and jobs. I don't know. I just think like, damn, what a so much on the positive. There's very little negative about that. And the negative is being created by things like the insurance has to be so high. Oh, is it for the bar? Okay, well then you match it to the bar. They don't want that though. They want, no, it's 100,000 for that. We want $1 million over
Yeah.
there. Come
It's
on,
just
man.
like,
But that's where it goes back to, it circles back to our convo about there needs to be a panel of people
yep.
who represent the culture,
Yep.
who are the right people. And then that's where it gets tough. I agree. But that you can consult them and be like, okay, we want to roll out lounges. How would we do this? And what are the pitfalls? And then you have the business motherfuckers in the room, and I put it that way because
No, definitely.
and then you got the guys from the culture, and then not the bro science shit, but like real representation and that have done things like builders. They have a construction background. He had a successful business before. Look what they've scaled. And you just go through. I think that we have to have that because as we evolve, it's not up to us right now. We're in the back seat like,
Yeah.
ooh, are they going to turn to the right up here? Oh, is he braking? You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
And
I'm
it's
getting
like,
car
hey, man,
sick.
can I get my buddy to sit in the front seat to just make sure to grab the fucking wheel if you decide to jerk it towards the tree?
Because that's what it feels like. Feels like we're driving the wrong way on the freeway.
Feel scary.
And we need it as a culture. We need it as, dude, we need to normalize this. We need people to understand. Like, one of my biggest stigmas was like smoking in front of my mom one time. And I remember her analyzing if I was changed,
Are you a different
smoking a
person? Are you
joint.
still-
And she's like, we're still having a convo. And I could see her literally being like, as I'm like looking away, she's like over there, like, is he fucked up? But you realize like, no, okay. And then now it's like not even an issue. It's like we're
Does
another
anyone
day.
in your family consume?
My dad was the first person I used to find his stash.
Mm.
But it was swag and I don't mean swag like bad. I mean swag to the ultimate horrible, Like 50% was probably seeds and stems. So it was like this, bro. It like you'd be smoking like the stuff that's the little stem stuff that we throw away would be levels above quality wise what my dad was smoking, but similar.
Would have got him faded.
He used to tell me, he'd be like, "What do you do when you can't take one hit? Like when that's too much?" I'm like, "I don't know.
We'll find
I
out.
don't
We'll
even
find out
that
one
shit
day.
out of luck, big guy." But like he opened the door a little bit where I was like, interesting. But it honestly took the science side of growing to really get me into it. And then first time I smoked was in the back of a car between two girls, no lie. And I got it passed in a blunt, and my big brother in the fraternity was in the front seat. We were driving to a concert, and I grabbed it from one girl and passed it to the other. And my big brother, someone I've really like looked up to, my homie, to this day, badass dude. He goes, he like saw it out of his
he's like,
peripheral.
it's like, what the fuck was that, pussy?
He literally goes, hit that shit, pussy. And you're between like, two beautiful women. You're in the back seat, and you're the youngest one in the whip too. And you're like,
Shit.
You're like,
I got you.
I would have inhaled as
Peer
hard as
pressure.
possible. Yeah, peer pressure to the max, dude.
but that opened the
Good
door.
peer
where
pressure. All
I
right,
had,
bring
like,
back some bullying, dude. Come on.
phenomenal night.
Yeah, great night.
Nice.
Great night. He knew.
So it's just right away. So some people like maybe don't have a good first experience, or they have like a neutral experience, and they're like, I don't know if I liked it. But you were like, oh, smoking.
I was like, this is like fucking amazing. Like what is, bro, the way I feel and like just like my mind. And obviously it's easy to rant and go on things and you get kind of scatterbrained sometimes. I totally agree. But like what it does for my creativity and how it focuses me,
Nice.
everyone can argue both sides and
Sure,
everyone has
sure.
both sides. Nothing's black or white, but I just it opened a mental door for me where I was like, wow, I really like this. And then now pair it up with the science side that got introduced at the same time.
And that was the passion that really just got ignited.
It aligned where I said, wow, man, there's really something, this is interesting. And they're doing it on the underground. And I always, who doesn't like watching the documentary on, Cocaine Cowboys or the Vice channel, bro? You remember
Yep.
Vice?
Oh,
That's why
go
people
crazy.
watched it.
Yeah.
So now you feel like you're living that.
You're like,
and
I'm the
you
guy with the
love it.
voice changer. You're like, holy fuck, this is insane. They're blurring my face out. I have a ski mask.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, and you're the only knowledge you can buy is you're going to Barnes and Noble and you're prepaying and you're ordering books or magazine subscriptions and you have them delivered to Barnes and Noble and you give them a fake name and you give them a burner phone. And they would call me and say, is this Mike from Barnes and Nobles? And I'm like, oh yeah. And they'd be like, hey, your book's in. And I'd be like, oh, awesome. I'll come pick it up. And then I would be even sketch to the point where I would like, they close at like 9 p.m. I would go at like 8:55.
Like, hey, I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, because it's so weird checking out. And you're not going to give them a credit card over. This is like, this is going back some time too, but you're not going to give them a credit card. So yeah, you would pay cash, but you're sitting in line, you got this book. So then sometimes I would grab a magazine and buy an extra magazine. You put the book between them. Because you're sitting in line and you're like, look, there's like people standing there looking at like, you buying a weed book? Because you had to go get the book from the middle counter. Or they would have it behind, so then it's even more awkward. You're like, oh, the fucking weed book for land, and they're like, they look at it
They're
like,
like, oh, it's fucking porn.
here's your can of Bible. You're like, yeah, all three of them, they're $60 each.
It's
Ladies,
for research.
you're spending $300 on weed books. She's like, who the You're like, take a photo of this dude's license plate.
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, so we've evolved past that, man.
Oh,
Now
fuck
we're able
me.
to get on podcasts and talk about this.
All of it.
What a
It's slowly
beautiful
getting
world.
there.
Getting better.
Getting crazier
better,
and
man.
crazier, really.
Slowly but surely.
Bro, you're
Slowly but
traveling the world.
Yeah. We're all traveling. You going to Spanibus?
I am going to Spanibus, yeah.
We're all traveling the world. Damn.
Yeah, we're going to Spanibus this year and then Mary Jane Berlin.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to that one too.
We
I
have a
think.
booth for First Smoke.
Fuck
Whoa.
We gotta do some crossover media shit.
Hell yeah, that's lit.
Sick. Mary Jane.
So
Berlin it
Spanibus,
is.
let's
Yeah.
go, man.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Terps Army. We got everyone out
Yeah,
there,
I've never
bro.
been to the original one. I've only been in the one in Amsterdam. I did.
So weird with like Spanibus. I love the event, but it's almost like the event is like, okay, cool. fun.
Everyone's there for just.
And like they don't sell weed, so it's just seeds. So and it's out further outside of Barcelona, which is kind of awkward. You like, but it's so weird that like everything is popping in the city that week, all the clubs and shit. So it's like it's just weird. It's like LA.
Mm-hmm.
LA, the only place you don't live in is downtown LA.
True.
So, but it's like the same thing with Spannabis is like everything's fun, and Spannabis is like, okay, that's hit or miss. But like the actual all the events that ripple out at the coffee shops is fucking awesome. Social clubs.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks
But
every
then
time I
Mary
can't
Jane
wait.
Berlin, I hear the event like 40,000, 50,000 people.
Yeah, I heard it's crazy. One of the biggest in the world.
That's
Never
lit.
even been.
I'm in.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we're doing that. And then we're doing Michigan twice this year.
Hell
Ooh.
Yeah, you guys are in Michigan, right?
Yeah, we love
Yes, we
Michigan.
are. Yeah. We
Bro,
love shout out
What
Michigan.
a fucking market.
What
Smokers.
Yeah, they do smoke. They love some good smoke too.
Yeah. Exotic Matter and some of the homies we're linking up with out there, they're throwing the ZA Olympics, Michigan.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, and so we're
Michigan's
giving away the first
Olympics.
Smoke of the Day award.
Nice.
And we're doing
Nice.
they're doing a pheno hunt, and we've never done this, but most of the time it's Blackleaf when I'm involved in genetics and
Sure.
things like that. But they were like, hey, if we have this pheno hunt of key lime pie, which is like a sister or brother of Skittles,
Mm.
and they were like, we have this pheno hunt. Why don't you taste a few of these and see if any of these you want to do a collab, or we'll drop first Smoke of the Day times them.
Sweet.
And I was like, yeah, bro, let's fucking,
Sweet.
just having fun with friends, bro.
That's what it's all about.
Like it's like coming on here and it's like, yo, let's do some more shit if we had a good time. Like what
Fuck
else can
yes.
we do? You know,
exactly.
have fun
Hell
with
yeah.
friends, bro,
Hey.
because it weighs the tough shit out. The days where you're like, oh my God, it falls back that like you have great times like this and you're like, all right, no, it was worth it. Three days of
It's good perspective.
digging ditches to get that one day of sunshine where you're like, oh man, this is why it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm gonna soak this in, dude. I'm
Yeah.
gonna sponge it up, man.
Yeah,
Sponge.
it up.
Oh,
That's the new merch drop. Sponge it up.
That's some Amsterdam shit.
Mm.
Yeah, pre to me though is the spot, bro.
Yeah.
I like to roll. If you want like a slushy, or they got all these crazy fucking grilled cheeses, and they have a crazy menu for like stoners, but then you go to the third floor and you open the window on the left side, dude, and you can roll a joint, and that it's kind of usually cool in Amsterdam.
Mhm.
And so you get that little bit of air movement right by the window. So you're not like, and dude, I just sit there and smoke, and they got screens. They got those big couches where you put your legs up.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. And I was like, this is where we, and it all goes back to lunch, but you're like, okay, this is it.
We need
This is
this.
how it's supposed to be.
We need this.
This is
Come on,
the dream.
America.
It's gotta come.
And we're
Gotta-
going to get there. You know it's going to happen.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
gonna
man.
happen.
But is it going to be us, or is it going to be them being like, here's a pharmaceutical lab you get to smoke in?
Fuck.
Jeez.
No.
No. Hopefully
No.
not.
We need the
Hopefully not.
alliance, dude.
That's what we
Yeah.
need.
We need the people.
We need the
it for
Avengers.
I was just
Cannabis.
I literally just thought that man. I was like, we need the fucking Avengers, dude.
people.
We
The
gotta
Justice League.
we gotta take out fucking Thanos, man. Fuck
Mm.
the government.
That's definitely where it goes eventually, but can't say that. You'll get fucking banned.
Dude, Blackleaf, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Dude,
you are
thank
the
you.
absolute man. Our longest episode yet. Where can the people find you if they want to watch some of their own? You have, hundreds and hundreds. You said almost 200 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Damn.
3 years. Every week. We've dropped something every week for 3 years as far as a podcast, plus all the extras, blogs, and all that shit.
Yeah.
But like
Damn,
the
that's so
podcast,
good.
we're all trying to figure it out, and all of us are demonetized, so we're all just trying to figure out. Also, like, okay, it has to be every Monday at 9 a.m. for us, and like, and also trying to spoon feed a little bit of knowledge and culture
Mhm.
in with the hype.
Yep.
For sure.
I know you don't want to hear that. I know you just want like, I'm a hash maker. I want hash makers. I'm a grower. I don't care about all this. And it's like, yeah, dude. I learned a lot in school from classes I didn't think I needed.
Mm.
True.
Or like pottery. What the fuck is this? And then you find something though that you're like, dude, this is dope as fuck.
Right.
Like, no, for real. And you
Like, this
circle
makes
back
sense.
50 years later and you find yourself like, wow, I really enjoy this thing that got me through this tough time or whatever. But yeah, find me. The best way to find me is my website because my Instagram's always deleted. So
True.
blackleaf.la.
Perfect.
Bet.
Yeah. And then First Smoke of the Day, obviously, on
Yeah.
Instagram, First Smoke of the Day website, fsotd.com.
Nice.
First Smoke of the Day and Blackleaf's the best way to find us.
Love
Perfect.
that.
I'm on
Where's
the DMs.
where can they find the podcast? Is there a specific platform?
YouTube. So we're in 5 locations. You can got First Smoke of the Day on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Then you have fsotd.com, which we
Nice.
drop everything like 3 to 7 to 12 weeks out.
Okay.
So
Oh,
whenever
shit.
we record a pod, as soon as it gets produced, we get the thumbs up from the guest that like,
Yep.
because we're not out there to expose anybody and get anyone in trouble. And a lot of people got a lot going on. And so
Right.
we want them to be happy.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, if they said someone's name that they're like, dude, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, bro, beep.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, always evolving, always hunting down, first smoke of the day.
Fuck yeah.
And then also Patreon. And so we
Nice.
drop
Sick.
those pods
Nice.
weeks and weeks in advance.
That's amazing.
Nice.
But like people just look at the YouTube views. That's the only, but then I always have to tell people like, hey, it's 2.5 that. That's our average.
Yeah.
So if you see 30,000 on this, times it by 2.5, and then that's about what you're finding on 3. Some episodes are way different. But like, it's funny how in our media space, when they look at your success as a podcast or views, all they look at is YouTube as a viewer.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that metric though is skewed a lot of times because our industry listens while they're working.
For sure.
So a lot of it's
Yes.
not video based.
No,
Yeah.
Spotify's huge, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spotify's huge, dude. People,
So-
people
Or the Apple
definitely like to put
Podcasts
this in the
or-
background.
Anywhere.
And then if they're a hardcore listener, like they want more. They want like this before it drops, or they want the version that we put out where we can show the weed pics. So that's what we were like, all right, FSOTD.com. And then
Nice.
also we film stuff before and after that sometimes is a little more racy.
Little
Yeah,
behind the
just make it-
scenes.
that.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We're having fun, man.
Let's do some aggressive episodes.
Get Cali Plug on here.
Oh shit!
No, but
It's a
it's funny though.
controversy.
You got to dose those in.
Yeah. Nah, for surely. Get the people riled up.
Get the
Oh,
Be
man.
Easy
But
episode. He'll rile some people
I
up.
just recorded with him yesterday.
Yeah.
Really?
He's so
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, that's why I said it
nice.
because he tweeted that he was doing a second episode.
Yeah. And people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's a scumbag." I'm like, we get into all that.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
But like, I appreciate these guys, and maybe I'm not to say it's not the right perspective, but maybe is like I appreciate. I don't agree with that. I don't co-sign everything he says. I don't agree with everything.
doesn't
this
mean I
person
can't have a
says.
conversation.
Right.
And
Fuck.
it doesn't mean I can't learn from this person.
Nah, for sure.
for
I
sure.
feel like what's been lost definitely is you can't have a conversation unless you agree with everything. It's weird. Like
Right.
I don't subscribe to that shit at all. It's just
Like you're not going to agree 100% with anyone. You shouldn't. At least.
the
You
mentality.
probably shouldn't.
The mentality
Yeah,
is
it's probably
so
not
weird. Like I don't think I've ever agreed 100% with anybody.
Yeah.
On everything. Like
But then you look at the biggest characters in cannabis, and they have the biggest personalities, which in turn will piss a lot of people off.
yeah.
So it's an interesting inverse of
Mm.
you guys feed into the biggest names in cannabis who have the craziest personalities that you love to hate.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
then that's what's wrong about the industry.
Yep.
It is an interesting place, man. And so I always just laugh when they go to like, oh, it's just hustlers, or all they do is do goofy weed shit or all this. And it's like, okay, Dragonfly Earth Medicine, OVO 40. And then they're like, oh, they just have athletes on, and then you're like, okay, cool. Let's,
You're never gonna please everybody.
no.
Right. There's always going to be somebody
Someone's
that's just bitching.
It's good though, keeping your ear to the track though and listening
Mhm.
and knowing when it is a train coming, and you're like, oh, you are right about that. Okay.
Yeah.
I see that. I
Yeah.
see what you're saying there.
That is
Okay.
like a tough line to draw as like a creator to go between the actual valid criticism and like, oh, this person's just hating.
Yep.
Or it's like there's like
Hard.
10% true in what
Sure,
he's saying. Like
sure.
how much should I address it, So
That's
it's tough.
definitely
It's tough.
that's a tough line.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
That
for sure.
that takes time. No one
Mhm.
get like that. That's you just getting criticized 100 times over and being like, oh, they were valid on 3 of these. Okay, I got
Mhm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
The other stuff, I hate you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's not a real place, and that's what's fun, dude. Go up to these people. That's also how you guys know. Like you have guests on, you end up connecting with them in a different way that people see sometimes, and they're like, I don't like what he said, and it's like, yeah, but if you get around this person, they are infectious and they do have passion.
Yep.
They just didn't come from where you came from. They didn't have the same background. Their journey has been different than yours. So why would you guys have the same outcome? It's like a child.
sense.
This
Yeah.
child was raised over here, and you guys came from a stable household that you didn't. Of course, you're going to be different as adults.
100%.
So why would it be any different
No,
with our industry?
no, it wouldn't.
So should we not appreciate everyone?
I mean, I would hope we would.
So
Right.
same thing, man. Even the guy that you're like, I don't fuck with what they do. Okay, interesting though. Very interesting.
Mm.
Oh, he's smoking BHO still?
Fuck them.
Yes. He's over there at night like,
Ooh, the VA.
watch it come back around. People are paying $100 a gram. That's why you're like full circle,
It's
right?
gonna come back. Yeah, it's gonna come back.
I'm in. I'll be out in the backyard.
We'll have to see. We
That'll
just
be the
predicted.
day. We'll be walking with a
Damn.
walker. You're like, BHO's back?
It's gonna be dangerous. It's gonna be dangerous. Thank you all so much for watching another episode. Blackleaf, thank you again for
Dude,
coming on.
thank you, Eric.
You are the man. You are the
And
man.
Tim,
Make sure to
man.
check out First Smoke of
Long
the
time.
Day
Yeah.
on all the platforms that they're on. And make sure to smoke some good bud today, all right? We'll see you on the next week's episode. Peace. Have a good one.
Later, guys. Well, that was a
Ooh.
fucking excellent one.
Yeah,
Holy
that was a
shit.